Wait, you're bumped by a staffer?
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, April 30th, 2023. This is your award-winning Keep Our Nation Media Assassination episode 1551.
This is No Agenda.
Wishing my day away and broadcasting live from the heart of the Texas Hill Country here in FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where we take one day off, and in retribution, Fox fires Tucker Carlson, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
So did anything happen while I was gone?
They fired Tucker Carlson because we missed one show.
No. They parted ways mutually.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's a lot of speculation, just to be honest for a second, there's a lot of speculation as to why they fired Tucker Carlson, and I have the clip.
I have a whole bunch of clips.
But I have the clip that I'm convinced. Because it happened right after this. Right after this happened, he was gone. Even though he was finishing off his show. This is why they forced Tucker. Last segment clip. This is the last thing he did on his show before signing off, saying he's going to be back on Monday. And within this clip, I can see why they got fired.
The other night, we interviewed a heroic pizza delivery man called Tyler Morrell, and ever conscious of the opportunity to use our job to get free food, we thought, we'd like to taste your pizza. Tyler Morrell joins us in studio. He will deliver literally anywhere. Tyler, it is so great to meet you in person.
A couple Coco's pies.
So these are from Coco's, established 1978. Everybody loves Coco's Pizza.
That's right.
Where's Coco's based?
Aston, Pennsylvania, and Delaware County.
Delaware County, the best part of the state.
I think we have a special
cheese pies.
We have a special pie for you here. Here's Tucker's pie.
So I am, as you can likely tell, a pizza aficionado. I was a pizza delivery boy for 2 years.
Is it warm at all?
Yeah, it's totally warm. These warmers are just
I know why. I know. I saw this. I know exactly why.
Exactly. You got it.
Should I tell it? Should I do it? Should I
let it play out. Let everyone figure it out.
I am guilty of this myself.
This is sausage.
That's sausage
and pineapple. And really quick, as a pizza professional, do you look down on this order? Is this?
I do. I think that I consider it criminal.
I knew you.
Pineapple pizza.
I agree. That's a fireable offense right there.
He was fired on the spot.
I was wondering.
By the way, I love pineapple pizza. I make no bones about it.
Me too.
The first time I ever had it, curiously, the story is, I never had it before. I always felt the same way. I was a bigot. And one day it was at Mevio.
Pizza bigot.
I was at Mevio, and they brought a bunch of, I forgot what pizza company, but they brought about 10 pies over, and there was the pineapple pizza amongst them. And I looked at it, and I said, let me try this. I tried it, and in one bite, I was sold. It's a perfect combination of that sweet pineapple and the rest of it. I was a pineapple nut ever since.
Welcome to the dark side.
People who don't like pineapple on their pizza, try it.
You know, as a Chicagoan, I am surprised by this. You know, Tina, of course, lived most of her adult life in Chicago, and she when that is the one thing we really differ on. She feels she is a pineapple pizza bigot. Although the other day she did have, I think she did order it. I can't remember. I think she might have eaten around it, but she was kind enough to order it for me. Well, yeah, that of course could be the reason. I think the reason is they heard I was going to appear on Megyn Kelly on Monday, and they had to make sure that stopped.
That's a possibility.
I got bumped. I got to tell you this story.
Oh, you got bumped?
Yes, I was supposed to do Megyn Kelly.
I was wondering why I didn't hear anything about this.
Yeah, so this is 2 days before my operation. Everything was all scheduled perfectly. It's great. On Sunday show, you had even told me like, "Hey, man, play up the trans Maoism stuff." She doesn't have all that right. So I'm very prepared for that because she's all about the men and women's sports, and she's not seeing the big picture. So I was very prepared for that, and 10 minutes to it was going to be at 11 a.m. my time. 10 and I'm on the Zoom. I'm in the green room. Pretty sophisticated the way Zoom has that, I might add. They've got a whole setup for broadcast.
Yeah.
We got a green room, and the producer can come in and
Silly.
talk to you, and the booker, and of course I'm friends with the booker because, and by the way, if you recall, last time, or the first time, almost 2 years ago when I was on Megyn Kelly, I got bumped from the first hour because Sharon Osbourne got fired. It's like when Adam Curry is booked on the show.
If Kelly really wants to build up her audience, she should just keep booking you and then keep firing people, and she'll have a great show.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. I'll mention that. I'm rebooked for the 31st. So 5 minutes before Steve Krakauer comes on, Steve's her executive producer. He's a really nice guy.
How many people do they have on this podcast?
Quite a few. They have quite a few people. Yeah, and she financed it all herself. She started with just a podcast and then added
nothing
YouTube.
But money.
She got a lot of dough, and she added YouTube and then Sirius XM. So she's got money coming in from all over the place. And so Steve comes on. He's like, "Hey, breaking news! What? It just broke. Tucker Carlson got fired." Oh, okay. So he said, "I'm going to go on for the first 20 minutes." I'm like, "What?" Okay. So the executive producer goes on for the first 20 minutes.
Wait, you're bumped by a staffer?
Yeah. Yes. Steve has been on Tucker Carlson several times. So he has some standing, I guess, in that area. And he's a Texas guy, so I'm like, all right, Steve, that's fine. And and then Megyn will bring you in after the break. So I'm sitting there, and to be quite honest, I was pretty happy. I was ready. I mean, I was like, okay, Tucker Carlson, I've got everything. Because I kind of was. There's a lot of stuff going on with him, particularly Big Pharma and other things. And I was ready. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty prepped for this. And then the break is over, and then it's going on. Like, we're going to get Glenn Beck on. I'm like, okay. Glenn Beck wants me on again, too, by the way, scheduling that.
Yeah.
And so then Glenn Beck, Glenn, of course, was ex-Fox. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And now it's like 11:30.
Glenn would be
he's the guy. He's a good guy.
Glenn or O'Reilly would be good people to have as, I got fired from them, too.
Right. And then, now we got Glenn Greenwald on. I'm like, no.
What's Greg? That
was a low blow, Megyn Kelly.
That's bad.
That was
You're
horrible.
higher profile than Greenwald.
Well, her angle was, we've all gone independent. This can be done. This can be done without big media networks. And I kind of appreciate
it. Well, that's kind of you, isn't it?
She at one point said, we'll have the actual, we pioneered this, she says to Glenn Beck. And she says, and we'll have the actual pioneer, Adam Curry, on in a little bit. Of course, that never happened because she just kept going. And then she's bringing on,
they're all giddy because he got fired. It's that crazy idea where I think they took glee in it.
It's a big media
I don't think anybody felt sorry for Tucker or they felt it was an outrage.
No, but these are all people who were like, who parted ways with mainstream, and they're very excited, and I understand that. And, I got the occasional email or text message, hey, man, bring Tucker into the podcast at 2.0 value for value. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see that
We had
happen.
that at the dinner table.
Yeah.
I had to shut it off because it said, hey, it's a different medium. You just don't go from one to the other like willy-nilly.
And so I had a lot of time to reflect on it, listening to everybody, and I was quite happy with that because what it gave me was a lot more opportunity to think about what had really happened here for our own show. Which, to be honest, I like Megyn Kelly. I was excited to be on. I don't think she's ever really listened to the show. Otherwise,
I'm sure she's never listened to the show.
Otherwise, and I don't even think the booker has listened to the show.
No.
They keep saying, hey, can we redo this on every date? It's like Thursday. No, I kind of have the show on Thursday. So, which is so rude when they do that. And to be fair about it, so Glenn Beck's booker did the same thing. Hey, can you do Thursday? No. What do you know about me?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond rude. It's indicating that they've never. This is like the kind of. I send you these letters all the time.
It's like the emails that you get saying, "Hey, we're evaluating for a big client advertising on No Agenda." Like, okay, hey, thanks for
we have
evaluating.
a guest. I always send them to you. So we have a perfect guest for your show.
Dipshits. All
And
of
I
them.
always send them to you.
Dipshits.
But sometimes I'll send a note back. Oh, really? Well, how do you think they're going to work in? Where were they? What segment do you think they'd be really a good guest on our show?
The donation segment will be perfect for them. I think we'll slip them right in there. So it gave me some time to think about what is going on. And really, this to me was the rest in peace M5M moment. This was not a business decision based upon we're going to make Fox News better. In fact, they've lost 2/3 of their primetime audience within a week's time.
Oh, yeah.
So this was a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, we may never know exactly. I'm pretty sure Tucker knew something was coming. I really am convinced of that because
Well, that's why I brought the pizza guy in. I've never seen that on the show.
Thank you.
At the end of the show, he brings a pizza guy on to eat.
I agree with you on that. He knew something was coming. He felt it. He's been doing podcast interviews with Adam Carolla, with some 20-year-old kid. And in fact, let me play this kid here. This is the Full Send podcast. This actually was a couple of weeks ago, so it was Adam Carolla's show. I only clipped this one because what happened is Tucker had this massive awakening, and when you listen to it, it's phenomenal to hear how clueless he was, which we kind of knew. And also, without our show, they wouldn't have had as much good material because it was pretty obvious how often our material showed up on Tucker the next evening, right down to the clips almost. So just listen to this, and you can hear how disgusted he was with his job, his own performance, and with the media itself. And he drew the logical conclusion, which is the basis for this very show almost 16 years ago.
I've spent my whole life in the media. My dad was in the media. Like, that is a big part of the revelation that's changed my life is the media are part of the control apparatus. Like, there's no... Yeah, I know, because you're younger and smarter and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
But what if you're me and you spent your whole life in that world? And to look around and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow. Not only are they part of the problem, but I spent most of my life being part of the problem, defending the Iraq War. Like, I actually did that. Can you imagine if you did that?
Well, what do you think? What is one of your biggest regrets in your career?
Oh, defending the Iraq War.
That is it?
Well, I've had a million regrets, not being more skeptical, calling people names when I should have listened to what they were saying. Look, when someone makes a claim, there's only one question that's important at the very beginning, which is the claim true or not? So I say, you committed murder or you rigged the last election. Before you attack me as a crazy person for saying that, maybe you should explain whether you did it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for too long, I participated in the culture where I was like, anyone who thinks outside these pre-prescribed lanes is crazy, is a conspiracy theorist. And I just really regret that. I'm ashamed that I did that. And partly it was age, partly it was the world that I grew up in. So when you look at me and you're like, yeah, of course they're part of the means of control. I'm like, that's obvious to you because you're 28, but I just didn't see it at all. And I'm ashamed of that.
Isn't that what the media tries to do, though?
It's their only purpose.
Right.
They're not here to inform you. Really? Even on the big things that really matter, like the economy and war and COVID and like things that really matter that will affect you. No, their job is not to inform you. They are working for the small group of people who actually run the world. They're their servants. They're their Praetorian Guard. And we should treat them with maximum contempt because they have earned it.
He knew this was coming. He knew this was coming. No doubt about it. He didn't know when, but he knew the gun was loaded. It was aimed at his head. And I think he was just enticing, doing anything he could, including I think he put it in the newsletter. The Rolling Stone had this story. I love Rolling Stone. Christian prophets blame, let's see, Satan fired Tucker Carlson, right-wing Christians say. Satan. Yes, Satan. And he brought that up at his Heritage 50th anniversary celebration keynote.
Yeah, I get that in there.
Oh, look,
that was a Vanity Fair thing. I have it at Substack. It'll probably come out on Monday.
Do you have a clip of that, of his Heritage thing?
No, I don't.
Well, hold on.
No, but I do have a clip. My thinking, I have my thoughts on it. I think there's all these theories. There's he did this, he did that. The most clever and semi-idealistic explanation is from Vanity Fair. There's a link to it in the newsletter.
About his Rupert Murdoch's fiance who whipped out a Bible at a dinner party where Tucker was.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it. And so they claimed that Rupert got irked about this and just decided to get rid of Tucker and get rid of his show and get rid of the fiance.
And the fiance.
So got rid of all of everything. Yeah.
No, but
because Rupert's kind of a freak about religion.
But that's
according to.
But that proves my
Vanity
point.
Fair.
But Vanity Fair is also M5M. This says all of M5M is crumbling before our very eyes. No one. What?
It's crumbling, but there's still money there.
Who gives a shit? Listen to this. Last night, the White House Correspondents Association dinner.
I have some clips from that.
Great, so do I. Here's the comedian of the evening, Roy Woods Jr.
The easiest scandal to follow was the Trump document scandal. That was the one that was easy to follow.
You're
simple.
stealing my clips.
Supposed to be in the White House.
Dude. I had 2 shows to prep. I couldn't talk to anybody. I'm not stealing your clips. Shut up. Let me go.
And the media, y'all did y'all's job. Y'all jumped on that story. As soon as the Trump document story broke, everybody was down in Mar-a-Lago. We're reporting live from the documents, and we're going to find them. And then we found out Joe Biden had documents too, and it was like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Everybody got documents. Mike Pence has some documents. Who care about it? Ooh, look, a Chinese spy balloon. Would you look at that? Ooh. Well done, media.
Exactly. And they're laughing at themselves because they know it's true. And then the craziest thing, this whole White House Correspondents Association dinner is, what is it for? Is it for college scholarships in media?
Yeah. From people that are journalists, students.
Right. So they have an award, the Katharine Graham Award for Courage and Accountability. Who is Katharine Graham? Is she supposed to be some courageous journalist?
She is the one of the original founder of the Washington Post. She's very famous.
Okay.
She was highlighted in the movie, about
all the presidents,
Woodward and Bernstein.
Yeah. So
she's the one who green-lighted it.
She green-lighted the op. Oh, beautiful. So this has to be given to someone who's done some deep investigative work, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Did you see who won and why they won? No. Let's listen.
The Katharine Graham Award for Courage and Accountability, named in honor of the legendary Washington Post publisher, goes this year to Josh Gerstein and Alex Ward of Politico.
Woo! And why? For what? What did they do?
The judges said Politico's efforts to report, verify, and publish the draft Supreme Court opinion reversing abortion rights and the organization's follow-up work exploring the consequences of the decision were globally historic and groundbreaking. It flipped the long-standing belief here in Washington, D.C. that nothing leaks from the Supremes. Here was journalism about a ruling that has had a profound and immediate impact on tens of millions of lives. Take a look.
Breaking news out of Washington.
Breaking new report from Politico.
They have obtained a draft opinion.
The Supreme Court could be poised to strike down Roe v. Wade.
This is a very unusual, if not completely historically unprecedented leak.
Utterly unprecedented leak.
Really a stunning development.
One that's likely to shape the country's social discourse.
Based on our reporting information that both myself and my co-author Alex Ward obtained, it does appear it has the backing of 5 conservative justices.
It now raises questions about the future of Roe versus Wade and what this means for abortion rights in our country.
Now, you tell me if I'm crazy about this. So they got a leak.
This supercut was funny.
Win an award.
They did a supercut.
They did a supercut.
Ridiculing their own leak.
They got a leak. And that begets you the Courage and Accountability Katharine Graham Award? But thanks for the leak. I mean, that sounds kind of dumb. And then
I'm not going to argue.
And here is President Biden, who has said something very weird about Tucker Carlson. Very weird.
We really have a record to be proud of. Vaccinated the nation, transformed the economy,
transformed the children,
earned historic legislative victories and midterm results, but the job isn't finished.
No.
I mean, it is finished for Tucker Carlson.
Now, listen to the response. What do you think that response is about? Whoa, he said it. Whoa, why was the media horrified or aghast? Why were they gasping about that? What do you think that is?
Well, first of all, the comedian did a Tucker Carlson joke, and he got a kind of a smattering of uncomfortable laughs.
Do you have that one?
No, I do have some stuff, but I don't have that smattering of uncomfortable laughs. And then he called him out on it. I have my clips from Wood are a little different than the one you. I mean, except for that specific clip. I was noticing this, and I didn't make a collection of them, but I will have. I did listen to Jimmy Fallon when he did it. He was actually kind of taken aback by the round of applause that he got from his own audience. And in contrast, when he mentioned Don Lemon was also fired, he got an awe from the audience.
All right, let's go back to this clip and then listen to the aghastness, and then listen to what the president says at the very end of this clip.
But the job isn't finished. I mean, it is finished for Tucker Carlson.
I think they're all realizing their own that they all could get fired. I think that's got to be.
I think absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind.
Like, let's not cheer that, people.
We can kind of clap mildly, but let's don't overdo it.
Exactly.
It is finished for Tucker Carlson. What are you wooing about like that? Like, you think that's not reasonable?
So, well, now, what does he mean by this? Do you think that's not reasonable? Well, not reasonable that he got fired, or that Joe Biden had him fired? Because that's almost what it sounds like.
Wow, I didn't catch this part. Yeah, I mean, this was going to be something I was going to clip for Sunday, but not as you already did this. That's a good thing to try to deconstruct. I have no idea why he'd say that.
I don't know.
For Tucker Carlson.
Why is he defending his joke? I mean, there's other ways of doing it.
I don't think he's defending the joke. I think he said, "Well, you think that is that? What? You think that's not possible?"
I'm surprised he didn't throw Jack in there.
You should have said, "It's no joke."
What are you wooing about like that?
Not kidding. No joke.
Like, you think that's not reasonable? Give me a break.
Now listen to this end.
Just give me a break. Look, like I often say, don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative.
What? Don't compare me to the Almighty. Compare me to the alternative?
I'm Joe Biden.
What is he, Satan?
What is he talking about?
He's Satan. He's literally saying he's Satan.
Like I often say, don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative.
And that's out of the blue. That has nothing to do with Tucker Carlson. Don't compare me to the Almighty. How many Almighties are there? Is Tucker Carlson the Almighty?
No, definitely not.
I think the Almighty in general.
There's only one, yeah.
Yes. So compare me to the alternative.
Satan.
He said, all right, thanks, Joe. We know you're Satan. Good.
Did you see when I was looking at, the camera would cut to Biden every so often during this. He looked like shit. It was so poorly lit.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of things wrong. A lot of things wrong.
It was junk. And so they cut to when he just looked terrible. He's got liver spots all over his face and horrible wrinkles, and his hair is falling apart.
Yeah, it was pretty tight.
Falling out.
Yeah, his whole face was pretty tight.
Well, it looked particularly bad. It makes you wonder how they're lighting these press conferences.
So now thinking back to, why, I think that this was a whole bunch of things started to stack up that Tucker Carlson was doing. He was saying, hey, he had the January 6th tapes, and I got a clip about that. But this really, we know that there's one third rail in television. And it doesn't matter, especially if you're in news, but it doesn't matter if you're in anything on television. There's one third rail, just one. There is only one that you cannot touch. Just one.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. How powerful exactly are the big pharmaceutical companies in this country? Well, that's a big question. There are a lot of ways to measure it, but here are a few ways you can measure it. In this country, Big Pharma can advertise its drugs directly to consumers, and that's a little strange if you think about it. Since consumers don't prescribe drugs, doctors do, so why are the drugs being advertised directly to consumers? That's allowed in only one other country on the planet, but it's allowed here. So it may not surprise you that in this country, drug companies spend more on lobbying the Congress than any other industry, a lot more than any other industry, and they don't do it by accident. They do it because it pays off in a deal like this, a pretty remarkable deal the drug companies have worked out with politicians. So the government uses your tax dollars to buy billions worth of their products, and then in some cases forces you to use those products. Sometimes those products work, sometimes they don't work. In some cases, those products can injure you. But no matter what happens, there's nothing you can do about it because politicians have given these companies complete immunity. If their products hurt or kill you, you can't sue them. You're not even really allowed to complain about it. That's an incredible deal. Imagine if your company had struck a deal like that with the Congress. You'd probably be a lot richer than you are. So that's power.
Yeah, so that is the third rail. You can't touch that. Tucker Carlson, even with a third of the ratings, with Greg Kilmeade, nice guy. He has the personality of a dish rag.
He's got no personality.
He has no personality. Nice guy. I've been on his radio show. Same thing. I'm like, you just have zero personality. He's very functional. I guarantee you they're pulling in more money than with Tucker Carlson. The MyPillow guy was picking up remnant ads for cheap. There was no
according
advertising.
to the trades, this is not true.
Oh, really?
It's not true. His numbers are way up in terms of that advertising thing ended. And they were getting good money. They were getting 60 or 70, according to Variety. I was trying to figure out what this was.
I'd love to see that. Well, it still doesn't mean that Big Pharma doesn't hold tremendous power.
No, I'm not arguing. In fact, I took a different tact. The column will explain it because I think the drug thing was definitely part of the mix because he was doing. Then that is third rail, and nobody wants to talk about it because you can't
even talk about it being the issue.
But I concluded that it's really his anti-war stance.
Yes, I'm in 100% agreement. This is NBC.
Off the air does not mean out of sight. Tucker Carlson's video on Twitter viewed nearly 20 million times.
The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are.
Notably, Tucker Carlson did not mention Fox News, nor the reason for his departure. Messages revealed because of Dominion Voting Systems defamation lawsuit may have played a role. According to the New York Times, two people with knowledge of the discussions.
Here you see the cover-up by all the other media, although I think Joy Reid mentions it. They can't even mention the real reasons, which is definitely pharma, and I think you are correct, or I agree with you on the war.
Say the night before Fox settled the case with Dominion for nearly $800 million, top executives and board members learned of, quote, highly offensive and crude messages Carlson sent in the past, and it triggered a crisis. Fox has not publicly provided a reason for getting rid of Carlson.
Yeah, I think maybe this is a second clip from NBC.
Meanwhile, the 8 p.m. audience on the Fox News channel Tuesday night was down about 50% from a typical night with Carlson.
Do you think he has the power to take those people who watched him loyally someplace else? And is there a platform that makes sense?
He undoubtedly has the power to take his audience from Fox News.
But maintaining the same influence may be harder.
When you are on television, you have a long tail on the internet. People are trading your videos. You don't get as long a tail when you do, fringe tuckercarlson.net.
A high-profile host out of a job, but not out of the public eye.
I love fringe tuckercarlson.net. Okay. Here are a couple of Joy Reid clips I think the military has mentioned here. Hey, Joy Reid.
Tonight on The Readout.
The Readout.
Why do I care what's going on in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia? And I'm serious. Why do I care? And why shouldn't I root for Russia, which I am? It might be worth asking yourself, since it is getting pretty serious, what is this really about? Why do I hate Putin so much? Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he threatened to get me fired for disagreeing with him?
No American TV host spouted Russian talking points the way Tucker did. And Russia is saying it is sad to see him go. Well, tonight there's new information on what led to his
Russia
firing.
said?
Yes, and this is what I hear everywhere.
How does Russia say anything?
No, this is what I'm hearing everywhere is, that guy is just, it was Putin talking all the time. Putin. So instead of understanding that he was, or instead of being honest and saying he was talking about the war, they turned it around and said, like, oh, you know what? This works. This worked with Trump. We'll just do Russia again. Oh, hold on a second. I need number 2 here. What's number 2? Here we go.
Tucker took the lead when it came to writing a revisionist history of the insurrection with the help of
another good one. another problematic issue with Mr. Carlson.
Kevin McCarthy, who handed him and no one else 40,000 hours of footage from that day, which Tucker selectively edited in order to frame the angry mob that attempted
Let's stop for a second. This selectively edited thing cracks me up to this day.
Yeah. Of course.
They show the guy with the horns on his head. There's no edits whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
And they just show the guy roaming around and then being escorted by the cops here and there and in and out of rooms and whatever.
Yeah.
And then they pretty much let the guy go. And how is that?
They unlocked the door.
It is a piece out of 40,000 hours. Yeah, there was something taken from that 40,000 hours, but to say selectively edited makes it sound like they created something out of nothing, right? Doesn't it make it sound like they created a narrative that did not exist?
Yeah. In fact, what Joy Reid is doing is creating a narrative that did not exist. This is historic. Maybe if we're lucky, if we get out of this and enough people realize how full of crap the M5M is, if we're lucky, this will be...
We're not lucky.
If we're lucky. Now,
if we're lucky.
I'm not saying that we'll get lucky, but it's possible. And there's some, people just might wake up. I don't know. It might happen. Not everybody.
Forget it.
No. I have some positive clips about this. Let's go back to Joy Reid because it's too fun.
Overturned the election as meek sightseers. The Carlsons...
And by the way, this show is of influence. We are of influence. There are a lot of people who listen to our show across all walks. In fact, we have no people of influence listening. We have only normal, regular people.
Cops. We have a lot of cops.
We got cops. We got nurses. We got
some guy at the foreign desk at the CIA.
It's okay. They love it too.
Former producer Abby Grossberg told the great Nicole Wallace yesterday what else he tried to do with that footage.
When the January 6 tapes were coming out, Tucker was very set on finding an FBI person who was implanted in the crowd and spinning this conspiracy that they were ultimately the ones responsible for the Capitol attack. I went back to them and said, look, there's no conspiracy theory here. I called this attorney that's representing one of the Proud Boys, and he flat out told me on 2 occasions.
By the way, attorneys are great people to take information from. They are always truthful.
There is no conspiracy. Get away from this stuff. This is dangerous. Tell Tucker to stop. I'll come on your show and represent my client.
Oh, well, did you bring him on?
Absolutely will walk off if he asks me this. And the response was, well, find somebody else. Tucker is really intent on this.
That's that Abby woman that filed the lawsuit, who was a booker essentially, and never even met Tucker, and she filed a bogus.
She never met Tucker. She's a booker, and let's just stop here and discuss for the masses what a booker is.
Yes.
Now, a booker is depending on the operation, is considered one of the producers. But what they really are is a booker. They're someone who makes phone calls all day to get guests.
Has a Rolodex. That's the only reason they bounce around and get hired.
It may be a company Rolodex. It might not even be her own Rolodex. There are company Rolodexes. You can believe that Abby, what's her last name? Grossman, when she left, she didn't take all her names. She may have her own version of the Rolodex, but those names are still property of Fox.
You know that Megyn Kelly also couldn't work with her, hated her when she was at Fox?
Oh, I didn't know. That's an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, little tidbit.
But bookers are like the third to go. The first to go are wardrobe. They get the wardrobe, and you start doing cutbacks. Wardrobe's out. You got to dress yourself now. And it shows on a lot of shows. You can see it on
makeup,
different shows.
Makeup, then lighting.
Makeup is next.
Lighting after that.
Well, makeup is next. Lighting may or may not be after that. But then the bookers go, and then they get generic bookers in that use the company Rolodex.
Yeah.
It's a low-end job.
Yeah.
That's very important. But I think wardrobe and makeup's very important, too. But they get rid of them, and they keep the middlemen that don't do anything.
It's basically bookers, in my opinion, and I apologize in advance to the booker for Megyn Kelly if she doesn't hear this, because she won't, because she doesn't listen.
No, she won't. She doesn't listen
on Thursday. They don't have to. They're a step above tabloid journalists. They know all the dirt, what's going on, because they have their finger on the pulse of what's hot. They try to pick the hits. Who's hot? Who do we need? Who's hot? That's how they do it. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, who's hot? Who's what?
Final clip from Joy Reid.
But none of that seemed to matter to the Fox executive suite. Nope. None of it.
Nope.
What actually pushed them over the edge, according to new reporting from the Wall Street Journal, was his, quote, vulgar and offensive messages about them and about his colleagues that were in the redacted portions of the Dominion filings, including the time that he called a senior executive at Fox the C word, according to people familiar with the matter.
Ooh, C word. The C word.
Familiar with the matter, the C word. He doesn't seem like the O'Reilly style of host, where he's chewing out people and yelling, "We'll do it live."
No, you know what? You know what's happening is in between, because he does the show live. In between the commercial breaks or during the commercial breaks, he's saying, "Who's this idiot? Who's this C word that booked this person, or couldn't get that person?" I mean, he's not talking to her directly.
Maybe, but he doesn't strike me as anything like O'Reilly.
No,
he does seem really a mean-spirited person.
Yes,
Tucker seems like a goofball more than a mean-spirited guy.
I would agree.
Now I have a clip.
Okay. Yeah,
this is The View.
Woo!
This is their announcement, and you have to listen very carefully.
Who's your clip booker?
You have to listen very carefully to the very end, because this again brings me back to my point. This is The View on Tucker.
Word has just come down that Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank him for his service to the network and host of the prior contributor. Wave. Come on, folks. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hey, goodbye. He is responsible for the degradation that we see somewhat of our democracy in this country. And I just think, as a faithful person, look at God.
Oh.
Look at God.
Well, and Russian propaganda hardest hit. I mean, he's been the biggest purveyor of pro-Russian talking points. So it's a good day for the Ukraine.
Karma doesn't lose anyone's address. No. So.
What is this look at God stuff Sonny's throwing out there?
The thing that I wanted you to hear, which it was stepped on by them, it's a good day for the Ukraine war.
Oh, crap. Let me listen again.
He is responsible for...
Was it here? After the na-na-na-na?
Yeah, it's after. Okay. It's the very end.
Okay.
The degradation that we see somewhat of our democracy in this country. And I just think, as a faithful person, look at God. Look at God.
Well, and Russian propaganda hardest hit. I mean, he's been the biggest purveyor of pro-Russian talking points. So it's a good day for the Ukraine.
Karma doesn't lose anyone's address.
No. So. Good catch. Yes, it's a good day for the Ukraine war. It is the biggest budget item in our annual budget, $900 billion, and they have a lot of power. Clearly, and now you have to question who has more power.
There is no
big pharma
anti-war person anymore on any mainstream media.
Correct.
And he's the last one. They got rid of him.
Yep.
And I have thoughts on this because the left in particular, and this is a left-leaning show, and all of them are all in on the Ukraine war.
Left-leaning.
Left-leaning show.
Wow.
Okay, they're Maoists.
Yeah,
but the point is that when I was a kid, and I brought this up, and one of the triggering points that got me to thinking that this is all really about the Ukraine war is the ouster of Phil Donahue in 2000, I think it was 2003. Phil Donahue was fired with #1 show on MSNBC because he was anti-Iraq war. And it came out in memos that were released by leakers, by NBC. They said we had to get rid of this guy because he's anti-war. And he was an anti-war voice, but he was a left-winger. And they were demanding that he put right-wingers on because the right wing at the time, in 2002 or 3, were all warmongers. And they all were until Trump came along. And when I was a kid, it was the left that was the peaceniks. And the left were big shot, oh, no war, no more war. And they made a big fuss about it until they changed from drafting kids out of college into having a professional army. Once that happened, it turned out that the left wasn't peaceniks anymore. It was all about them getting drafted. And now they're all warmongers along with the right. And that Tucker was the last vestige of anyone who maybe thought war was a bad idea. He's gone.
I agree. That to me is the official no agenda reason.
So there you have it. And what really irks me to the no extreme is that when I was at Cal and Berkeley, when the left was all these anti-war, the Lib Joe friends of mine, all those guys once were all anti-war, but they're all pro-war now. How did that happen?
Thank you. What happened? It's a spell. It has to be a spell. It can't be anything else. This is people are not thinking rationally. They have been just inundated. It comes from Trump, of course, the Russian collusion. Just Trump. The Russia got Trump in. So Russia is the problem. It's not Russia. It's Putin. It's not even Russia. It's one guy. It's Putin. One guy. And the reason why I'm optimistic about this being be quiet now. The reason why I'm optimistic about this being the tipping point. The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in on the M5M, the mainstream media, was this just one of many heroes who stood up at some bullcrap university lecture situation with executive editors from the New York Times and the Washington Post.
I saw this and I said, should I clip this? I have a lot of clips. And I said, no, I mean, it would be great to clip, but if you clipped it and want to play it, I'm all in.
I only took like a minute 45, and that's enough.
Oh, it goes on for a long time. It's very funny.
4 minutes. This guy is fabulous. I think he also looked black, which made it even funnier. And this is why I'm optimistic.
Oh, is this the lecture hall with Seymour Hersh?
Right off the bat, it's like the guy has humor.
I'm looking for the one with Seymour Hersh because it's a policy and press hall
Can you
event.
Stop it, and give a little more background on what we're listening to.
Okay, so this is I apologize. I don't know which university this is, and it's a lecture hall, and on stage it's a conversation with 2 editors, executive editors, one from
4.
the New York. Was it 4? I thought it was
4 total editors.
Well, there had to be 3 and then 1 moderator, I think.
No, there were 4 people. It seemed to me they were all executive editors, New York Times, Washington Post, and one other or 2 other papers.
Maybe Wall Street Journal. Doesn't matter. It's all top notch. The top notch people,
top guys, top men.
For some context, what is the job of an executive editor?
They oversee the paper. It depends on the structure of the publisher. They're all different. But generally speaking, the executive editor is like above the editor-in-chief and calls the shots on the direction of the paper. Sets the standards.
They're the censors, is what you're saying. They are the actual censors?
They're not really. The censors are actually the reporters.
Yes. They censor on the way in.
They self-censor.
They self-censor.
But they can't admit to it, but that's what they do.
So they're up here talking, blah, 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 we're doing some important work. We got leaks of the Supreme Court, blah, blah, blah. Balls, we call them. Balls. Just a bunch of balls sitting up there, being all hoity-toity. Like, oh, yes, we were executive. Okay, and then this guy just stands up at the mic. And by the way, what you see is no one's going, oh, what is he doing? No, the people are going, dude's making some sense over here. Okay, a couple of them have masks on, but still, like, no one is.
They let him go.
Yeah,
and
no one's
I'm
rushing
stunned
up.
by the fact that someone didn't just cut the mic.
No, because everyone knows that this is what's going on. This is why I'm optimistic.
Oh, is this the lecture hall with Seymour Hersh? I'm looking for the one with Seymour Hersh because it's a policy and press hall event. So shouldn't we be talking about the Nord Stream since that's the biggest story of the century? And you guys, I'm sorry. I mean, you have the executive editor of the New York Times there who came out with a phony story to try and block Seymour Hersh. It's just kind of funny how that happened, I mean, did you even acknowledge Seymour Hersh? All of you are executive editors of papers that broke Pentagon, My Lai, Watergate. Is this the same papers or not?
Which, by the way, were Hersh stories, just to remind everybody. My Lai, Watergate. Well, not Watergate. He also...
No, not Watergate.
Yeah, he also reported on Watergate, but he didn't break it. But My Lai, that was him. That was Hersh.
Yeah, well, that's how he got started.
This guy is informed. We should have this guy on as a guest. During the donation segment.
Hey, Watergate, is this the same papers or not? I mean, is there anything you've gotten right in the last 20 years, or am I mistaken about that? I mean, it's just kind of funny because Iraq, wrong. Syria, wrong. Russiagate, really wrong. Okay, I mean, the list goes on and on. So the last thing you could do to try and actually fix your reputation is acknowledge that through leaks, we had to find...
Oh, someone said shut up. Ooh, someone said shut up, man.
...is acknowledge that through leaks, we had to find out that Zelensky was going to bomb Moscow on the anniversary. I mean, if you're so impartial, shouldn't you at least say, right, that Zelensky was going to bring us on the verge of World War III? That seems pretty fair. While Julian Assange rots in prison, all of you've got, fat checks because he's in jail for doing your job. And you know what? Tucker Carlson ain't no Seymour Hersh, but he did something you guys are scared to do. Speak the truth and actually be critical of the war, which is why he was actually fired from Fox, because you are all cowards. Every single one of you. None of you have actually had any relevancy. And you know what? The mainstream press is now dying. Nobody's ever going to listen to you again. You have no credibility with the public. The only people who care about what you have to say are elite assholes who have nothing productive to say anymore. And it's dying off.
That's my boy right there. That's what I'm talking about.
I love the elite assholes line.
The only people, the elite assholes. Exactly. So I have great hope.
Well, I want to play my series of Wood clips because I clipped the parts where he's actually goes after the media a little bit.
Wood?
With similar themed.
Who's Wood?
Roy Wood Jr. The guy who gave
perfect, please, because I didn't see it. I had to go to bed early because I'm invalid.
Yeah, well, you're not talking like this.
Can I just say something amazing about what happened to me?
I'm waiting.
Yeah. Okay. So I had 8 implants put in. And as part of that process, Maverick, he's my periodontist, he raised my sinuses up a couple millimeters. I didn't even know it was a thing. John?
Neither.
And now, not the left ear, but the right ear, the hearing has improved even more. More.
This is something that needs to be studied.
It does.
This is ridiculous, your story.
And I can tell because I went from headphones at 11 to headphones at 6, and today they're at 5. And I heard it right away. It's kind of weird. I heard it when I took Phoebe out to pee, and I heard her peeing out of my right ear. I've never heard that before. I'm like, whoa, why do I
I'm telling you, this is
something going on.
Non-trivial.
It's not. And people, go see your dentist. Go see your periodontist. Have a scan done.
Well, I think your dentist was surprised by this himself, wasn't he?
No. Well,
he says this happens all the time?
He says the amount of ailments people have because of their sinuses, which is due to infection of their upper molars, is astounding. The hearing thing is new to him. That is new but I'm tuned into it. I know what my hearing is, what it became. I know what it is.
You were deaf.
What?
You were,
and he falls for it.
I don't know why I keep falling into that one.
He falls for it. Wow.
All right, let's go with Roy Wood Jr. This is CD, which is Correspondents' Dinner 1.
I'm happy to be here at this event amongst government officials who speak to MSNBC former government officials who now work at MSNBC, and future government officials who currently work at MSNBC.
So he got that through. Now, the thing that actually I wasn't going to record any of this until he did this joke. This was one of his lines that I actually laughed out loud. I said, I got to get a few clips from this guy. So let's go to clip 2.
An often overlooked purpose of tonight's dinner, it's serious business. An overlooked purpose of tonight's dinner is to award scholarships to students who have shown great achievements in journalism. That's right. Those are the future of the industry. And I'd like to stop right now and congratulate tonight's top scholarship recipient, Arizona State senior George Santos.
I've never heard of this Wood guy.
He's one of the writers for The Daily Show.
Wow, he is
and I
good.
think he does some sketches there.
He
actually was quite good. His timing was good. Everything was. And then the last clip I have, because the scandal clip we already played, is the paywalls clip, and this is clip 5. And this one really hit with a thump, but it was like, I thought this was a very good, interesting clip.
Tonight is all about you all, the journalists, the defenders of free speech, the people who show truth to the world through different mediums, through television, through print, through radio, through whatever China let us see on TikTok. But the industry that covers all of these scandals isn't immune to them themselves. The issue with good media is that most people can't afford that. All the essential, fair, and nuanced reporting, it's all stuck behind a paywall.
Yes.
People can't afford rent. People can't afford food, not healthy food. They can't afford an education. They damn sure can't afford to pay for the truth. Say what you want about a conspiracy theory, but at least it's affordable.
Wow, that is so... And you know what? There's another reason that they're just going down the tube. Paywalls. The only thing that gets heat these days is headlines. The headlines is all people see, and all they do is
the paywalls help that along.
Yeah, and they just do a screenshot, send the screenshot around. My pet peeve: screenshot of just whatever paywalled article there is. They don't even click on it. You know who you are.
Yeah. The funny thing about paywalls is that the New York Times has the worst one. I don't know if I should be revealing this.
Oh,
simplicity.
bro, it's so easy to get around these paywalls. 12ft.io.
Oh, no, 12ft is not that great. But I'll tell you something about the New York Times. I got a New York Times one. Take one of your less used browsers and turn off JavaScript.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Bloomberg. Bloomberg has an impenetrable paywall. Except Bloomberg, all you do is just copy the headline and then search Yahoo. Because
then you'll find it.
Yahoo buys it from them and publishes the whole thing for free.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of work for people.
No, people don't want to do that. It's too much hassle.
By the way, all the celebrities were out. Fabulous. Brittany Griner got a call out, who has a receding hairline. How does that work?
There's nude pictures of her that she's just some dude with no shirt.
That's what I think too, but okay.
No, there's no thinking about it. You should see these pictures.
I've seen the pictures. Yeah, I know. So let's just continue for a moment, because there was another firing, which is not unimportant, and happened on the same day. The announcement came within minutes, not from CNN, but from Don Lemon himself. And I think, did the clip custodian do this for me? I think so. No, maybe this was Steve Jones did this. Couple clips here that, and it was, just like Tucker. I saw Molly Wood post, whoa, it's all about the misogyny. It's like Don Lemon was misogynist against women in their prime. Tucker was misogynist calling women the C word. No, Molly Wood, no. Clip it for her. No. Get your head out of your butt, Molly Wood. Does anyone know who Molly Wood is anymore?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, this is what it's about. He was on with Vivek Ramaswamy, and Don Lemon went off the rails.
Oh, yeah.
Off the rails.
I want you to raise your hand if you know when the first anti-gun laws were passed in this country. Raise your hand if you do. 1865. You want to know when it happened? We fought a civil war in this country to give black Americans the equal protection under the law that we failed to secure them in 1776.
So this is from his speech at the NRA. Now, do you think that lines up with the truth? What Vivek is saying here?
Well, I'm reminded of, if you remember this, Tavis Smiley. We had a clip of it. This is years ago, a decade ago. Tavis Smiley, who had a talk show on PBS, NPR, I believe, is the producers, and he was canceled and kicked off the air shortly after he went off about how the Second Amendment is the greatest thing that ever happened to the black population, so we could be armed and protect ourselves. And that was no good, and that was the end of Tavis Smiley.
Well, part of Tavis.
So I believe, I do believe this is true.
Part of Tavis Smiley's, you do believe. Part of Tavis Smiley's issue was he railed on Obama. I remember that
didn't help.
That did not help. I'm looking to see it. I don't see any clip about the guns per se. But anyway, okay, I'm in agreement with you. I mean, there was a lot of things, the Civil War, but it was appropriate to use this at the NRA speech. I mean, if you're going to be there, might as well talk about guns.
But then you want to know what happened? Southern states passed anti-gun laws that stopped black people from owning guns.
Yes.
The Democrat Party, then as and now, wanted to put them back in chains.
Yes. That I know from the Mo Show. This is totally true.
Then as and now, that's quite an accusation about the current Democratic Party. Who and what were you referring to?
I was referring to Joe Biden and his expression of wanting to put them back in chains, dating back to Lyndon Johnson.
Do we remember that clip? Put him back in chains.
Lyndon Johnson. I'll have them.
No. I mean Joe Biden. Put him in chains. Here, this one.
Do we have it?
Yeah.
Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
That was quite controversial from old Joe there back in the day. It was 2000.
Yeah, he was quite the firebrand.
He's a nut job.
I think Lyndon Johnson's so-called Great Society was one of the greatest misnomers in American political history.
Well, Lyndon Johnson was a known racist.
Where even back then in the 1960s, 70% plus of black kids were born into two-parent homes. Today, that number is less than 30% in the opposite direction. The very policies that we implemented in this country in the name of helping black Americans have actually been disastrous for black Americans and all Americans. And I think that's something that we need to wake up to.
In 1865, you were talking about the black codes, right?
That's right.
Enacted to make it a crime for a black person to carry a gun in the South. But you're equating that to the current president? You're referring to economic chains? What are you saying?
Well, I was referring to Joe Biden's, I think, ill-chosen expression to say they're the party that wants to put you back into chains.
All right, so that's a reasonable setup. There's no reason for anyone to get super butthurt. It could, there's a factual argument that they can have, but Don Lemon, all of a sudden, Don Lemon is Martin Luther King.
Do you have anything on this before I move on to China?
I don't see what one has to do with the other, but go on. I took up a lot of time with Fox.
No, it's fine. We have time.
I don't really see what one has to do with the other, especially and using the Civil War to talk about black Americans. That war was not fought for black people to have guns. That's not.
That war was fought for black people to have freedoms in this country. Yeah. Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Okay.
And the sad
that
part
wasn't
about
fought for black people to have guns. I think.
Actually, you know, funny fact is black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that's one of the lessons that we learned.
Aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I disagree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. And I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
And you live in this country, then you can disagree with me. But we're not. You mentioned in here that we have three different shades
Don, I think we have to be able to talk about these issues.
Listen to this. Listen to this. I don't know if you can catch it. But he's saying, well, when you live in a different skin, you can talk to me about it. We have 3 shades of melanin on this show. This guy is a racist.
You think?
A racist.
I agree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. And I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
And you live in this country, then you can disagree with me. But we're not. You mentioned in here that we have 3 different shades of melanin.
Don, I think we have to be able to talk about these issues in the open, regardless of the color of our skin.
Yeah, so Vivek kind of scoring a run here. But then Don he can't leave it alone. The control room was going nuts.
Don.
Black Americans today, compare that to 1865 and 1964.
I think for you to compare it to
absolutely
1865 and
have equal rights in
1964
this
is
country.
actually, I think it's insulting to black people. It's insulting to me as an African American. I don't want to sit there and argue with you because it's infuriating for you to put those things together. It's not right.
Right.
Your telling of history is wrong. What
part of the history was wrong?
What part of the history was wrong? That the Civil War was fought. You're making people think that the Civil War was fought for black people, only for black people to get guns.
Wait a minute. How many times have I heard from Don Lemon that the Civil War was fought to free the slaves? Even though there's a states' rights issue and there's all kinds of other things going on, he's going against the established narrative.
No. What he said from his perspective, I think is not against any narrative. It's from his perspective. He says that the Civil War was not fought so black people could get guns. That's what he said specifically. I think that's fine from him.
You're making people think that the Civil War was fought for black people, only for black people to get guns and for black people to have.
The Civil War was fought for black people in this country to get freedoms, a noble mission. And I think that after we succeeded, we had to actually secure those freedoms.
To reduce it in a speech at the NRA to say you're making people think you're trying to say that black people to get guns that was the reason that you're there at the NRA. That was the reason for the Civil War.
It is
that's
fact.
Reductive.
It's not
and
reductive.
I think it's insulting. There are a whole plethora of reasons for the Civil War.
With due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to black Americans, to say that black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured.
So what is wrong with what Don Lemon's doing here? It feels very wrong from a morning show television host perspective.
Well, first of all, it's a morning show, so it shouldn't be. It should be light and airy.
Yes, airy.
I think we've talked about this before, which is the morning show is a structured show that has to be giggly. It has to be light and airy. It can't be, about deep gun debates, Second Amendment stuff,
and racism,
and racist. I mean, Don is not. Well, that's why I've said this before, and I'll say it again. They put Don Lemon in the morning slot, knowing full well that it's not. He's an after midnight guy.
Yeah, he is an after midnight.
There's really is a huge difference in person. You can't put a guy like that on a morning show and expect him to succeed because he doesn't have the personality for it. And those women weren't going to let him succeed anyway because they hated him. This was, I think, was beautiful the way it was structured to get rid of him. He walked away at $25 million as a parachute.
Well, hold on. Let's get the final dagger. The final dagger in the back.
And the Second Amendment was part of what secured
hang on,
that
please.
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear.
They're like, Don, shut up. You're going to get fired. Stop it. Stop that.
Don, shut up. You're going to get fired. Stop it.
So hang on one second. So to say that black people...
Hold on a second. Stop it again. By the way, somebody was sent us a note saying, you two guys are both the same. You're interrupting the clips.
Yes. Yeah.
And I said... Yeah, it's called what we do on the show.
Yeah.
Because some of the times you notice these things. I didn't notice the first time I heard this that he said he bitched about being yacked at in his IFB.
He overrode not the director. He overrode the line producer or the executive producer who was saying, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Stop it, Don, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop it.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear.
Stop it.
So, hang on one second.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking into my ear. You're right. That is grounds for firing.
Right there. You overrode authority, Don Lemon. You will repent.
Black people.
That's a great catch.
Say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They were not secured their freedoms after the Civil War.
Insubordination is what it is. Insubordination. We don't have to listen to the rest of the clip. That was it. That was it. That was the moment where Don Lemon got fired. Because whoever it was had the power. You do not.
Yeah, it had to be more than just the director. It had to be some higher up.
Yeah, you do.
Because he had already jumped the shark earlier, and then his director was probably yakking at him. He wouldn't listen, and so he waved over the producer, somebody who's really the boss.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get this guy to shut up about this. And so he took over the mic, the top guy, whoever that is.
Or gal.
Exactly.
Or gal. It could be a gal.
Or gal. Guy or gal. It doesn't matter.
You don't know.
Probably a gal in the morning. And she said, "You've got to stop doing this immediately." And then he chewed them out and said, "You can't keep yakking at me in my ear."
Isn't that crazy?
You're out. You're done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's he got a $25 million payout, really?
Yep.
I think those days are also over. I think the days of
let's hope so.
I think the days of big money like that are over. I just don't see the ratings justifying it. You had an interesting take, and we should just wind up this long, drawn-out conversation about the death of the RIP M5M.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, people are onto it. It's for rich assholes.
Yeah, what was my take?
Your take was that Tucker's going to go to CNN, which I liked a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
I thought about this, and I've said it before, and I think I posted it a few times. I don't have it in my upcoming essay on how he got fired, but it seems to me that the minute Tucker was fired, then they immediately fired Don Lemon, which is like a signal. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. And then to take Tucker, it would seem to me to be genius by Discovery, who now owns CNN, and which John Malone have a lot of control over, and he's a right winger. To take Tucker right from Fox and put him in the exact same 8 p.m. slot would destroy Fox.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. Dream on. It's never, ever.
You know,
ever,
that's the funny thing is, these guys aren't smart enough to pull that off.
And I also don't think Tucker's going to go to Rumble or The Blaze or anything like that.
I agree.
He is going to do...
We may have heard the last of Tucker.
No. He is going to do his own show. He's always been a fan of what Adam Carolla did and what Joe Rogan has done. He's just a big fan of hiring the people you want. He doesn't want any
there goes his income. I mean, he's not going to make any money. What you're describing,
who cares?
He's not going to make any money. He's going to it's a vanity thing.
No, it's no.
If there's no money involved, as far as I'm concerned,
what
that's
do you
vanity.
think we're doing? What is this we're doing?
We're not going broke doing this.
No, but my point is, we
don't have negative cash flow.
We could be making a lot more money if we sold out to the M5M. 850,000. That's 850 CPMs at $25. Hello.
Yeah, no, I know. We'd be making a fortune.
All right.
The problem is the show would suck.
Yes, exactly. It has nothing to do with vanity. I think now. I don't know if he can pull it off without the infrastructure he's used to having. You know, we have a big head start on understanding how all this. He understands it now. In fact,
no.
Yeah, he does. He sees what the M5M is. Does he know how to deconstruct like we do? No. Is it just going to be an interview show like Joe Rogan? That would be a fail. That would be a bad idea. He needs.
He's not.
It's his opening segment. He needs to do his opening segment, his opening statement, and then some
written
fluff
for him.
Yes, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. That is what he can do, and he can do that and distribute it as far and wide as he wants. I don't think he cares about money. He has enough. He's a child of he's an heir to a fortune.
He doesn't need the money, but this is what you're describing is the O'Reilly podcast.
No. O'Reilly left as a sleazeball who paid $65 million to women he harassed. Little different. No.
I'm talking about the product, not the person.
But that's part of the product. No. He is going to set it all up. He wants to have, his own show. He's going to put it everywhere maybe. I don't know. And it's not
FringeTuckerCarlson.net.
And it may not work. I'm with you. It may not work, but I think that's what's in his heart. And there's nothing wrong with that. Either that or what I think he really should do, I think he should become a televangelist. That would be a success formula for Tucker Carlson.
Wow.
Think about it.
Well, that's off the wall.
Think about it. That would,
He could probably actually do it, to be honest about it.
Yeah.
He is preachy. He's preachy.
Yes. Yeah, the whole Heritage speech was good. I liked that. I thought it was dynamite. The only thing
he's done other speeches. I've caught them, and he's definitely more preachy and more gregarious. As a televangelist style. In fact, he's even more so than some of these megachurch guys who I've seen are actually laid back by comparison.
He could have a megachurch. Yeah. The thing he has to stop doing is he has to stop.
Oh, that
he has
crazy
to stop
giggle.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that giggle's got to go. It's a Kamala Harris kind of affectation.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's a little much. No, that's got to stop.
All right, well, let's jump topics to Kamala Harris.
Well, before we do that, I would like you to know that the nation's airways are safe. Airplanes flying all over the country are safe. I want you to know that air traffic control is keeping everybody safe. I have a recording.
Southwest 1768-21-8 descending via with the India for 7 right.
Southwest 1768 Phoenix approach in the morning. Expect runway 7 right.
Warrior Approach Southwest 1579-12-8 descending via the Hyder for 7 right with India.
Southwest 1579 Phoenix approach in the morning. Expect runway 7 right. Delete speed restrictions.
He's not stopping. Every single call, it's in the morning. Next one.
Approach Southwest 1166 descending out of 2, flight level 217 for via the ping.
Southwest 1166 Phoenix approach in the morning. Expect runway 7 right. Verify information India. Delete speed restrictions.
There you go. Air traffic control doing in the morning with every single call.
Is it the same guy or is it different guys?
Yeah, it's
sound like two different guys.
No, it's one guy. It's one guy doing it in the morning, but there's a couple of guys doing it now. Remember, there was talk of this.
Yeah,
because ATC loves us.
Well, in the morning sounds like something you would say if you're an air traffic controller.
Yeah, if you're on drugs.
As a send-off.
If you're on drugs. No, it's not a send-off.
No, if you're sending off. Hey, okay, in the morning. In the morning.
No, these are people switching over from another frequency, and he's saying, instead of good morning, he's saying in the morning.
Delete speed restrictions, expecting 7 right. We do have India, Southwest 1166.
Yeah, wait.
Phoenix approach Southwest 2799, we just passed through 19-1, descending via the Bruiser. We've got India.
Southwest 2799 Phoenix approach in the morning. Expect runway 8.
Well, I think in the morning is the way to go. It could take over. What if it took over and nobody ever said good morning anymore?
I think that's a genius plan, and we support that in the morning.
And if I would hope that the pilots would respond once in a while in the morning.
Oh, believe me, there's some Southwest guys out there and gals. Oh yeah, and some AAs. Oh yeah, and FedEx. A lot of FedEx. You bet. In the morning, it's going to be It's going to be the inside joke. The AAOP will have articles about it in the magazine. Hey, what?
I think there'll be people saying it, not even knowing why they're saying it.
It'll be taught in flight school, and when you switch over, you say in the morning. Okay, in the morning. All right, good. I got it, boss. All right, I know what to do.
And he has one flight school instructor to start that trend.
Dynamite. So you want to do another topic, or do you want to?
I want to go to Kamala. I got Kamala talking about this is the most disgusting thing. You've heard this clip.
Yeah, of course I have.
She's talking about cultural ties, and she's going to describe. She's talking to South Koreans. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's completely incompetent. Mm-hmm. So she's talking about cultural ties with South Korea. Here's a country that we've been allied with since the 50s and probably before, but after the Korean War for sure. And if you go to Korea, you see it because the signage, like on the highways, the interstate signs that you see here, same shape as you see there with the little, that funny looking sign for the Interstate 80 and the Interstate 5 and all the rest of them. The same sign shapes are there and the same U.S. sign shape. Everything is, it's just so similar. And you go through Seoul, Korea, and this American.
Wait a minute. Is this breaking news? Kamala Harris doesn't know what she's doing?
Breaking news. Not the press.
Breaking news.
South Korea and the United States, as the Secretary has mentioned, also share strong cultural and people-to-people ties. K-pop bands, they top the billboards in the United States.
Wait, stop it again. Just to annoy the guy who doesn't like us stopping clips. She says that K-pop tops the billboards.
Yeah, the billboards.
Is there billboards around the country with the K-pop? What's she talking about? Does she mean to say topping the Billboard charts?
I think so, John. Again, breaking news. Our vice president is a moron.
They top the billboards in the United States, including BTS, who I had the great pleasure of meeting and inviting to my office in the West Wing.
Whoa!
And to the great pleasure of my niece, I must tell you. I also think of the Emmy Award-winning TV shows like Squid Games, which I will confess Doug and I binge-watched at home over a series of weeks.
Wait a minute. I love the binge-watch over a series of weeks. Binge-watching is in a weekend.
Yeah, binge-watching, you sit down and binge-watch. But why would she take it as an example of cultural ties, the outrageously disgusting and gross show Squid Games?
Because it won an award.
Even watch that show.
It's all about winning awards. It's like K-pop, top of the charts.
The billboards.
Top of the billboards. Squid Game is Emmy Award winning. Politics is show business for ugly people.
And I think of the actress, Yoon Ya-jung, who I met in Seoul last year when I convened groundbreaking South Korean women.
She was groundbreaking South Korean woman.
She is the first Korean to win an Academy Award for acting.
Wait.
These are examples of...
I thought she won an Emmy, not an Academy Award. This is wrong. Did she win she said Emmy? And then she said Academy Award. She didn't win an Academy Award.
She doesn't know what she's out of control.
Breaking news.
She is the first Korean to win an Academy Award for acting. These are examples of the cultural ties and the intertwined history between our nations.
Yeah, no, she knows what she's saying. Cultural ties, culture to her is Academy Awards, John Legend, Chrissy Teigen, top of the billboards. No, well, I'm going to top your clip with
it won't take much.
No, that's true. With our vice president, who was at a reproductive rights speech. Reproductive rights. She had something very deep. She had something deep to say.
It's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders.
Stop! I'm being very annoying by stopping these clips. I know that one guy hates
people are complaining about this.
They should. Now, this is the other Kamala. This is the one who's so stoned that her pacing, her cadence goes way low. Have you noticed this? Yeah. She has two different cadences depending on how much dope she smoked.
So there's two versions of this. There is a deep fake, which is really outrageously fake. Even the sign is fake. Come on, people. But this is what I believe she really, really said.
It's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past but the future.
It's a moment in time, the past, the history, the future, today.
I think it's because she's been listening to too much Joe Biden.
No, she's just...
Yeah, no, listen, here's the clip.
She's inherently weak. She's just weak.
Joe Biden, this is the Biden Think About It clip. You have to play it.
I'm deadly earnest about this. Imagine being a mom or a dad. Looking at your child, the needs of innocent to live. And not having the money to pay for it. Not a joke. Think about it. Think about what you'd think about.
Okay. Think about what you think about. I've been thinking about that. How about you?
Yeah.
This is what's so amazing. And yes, again, there's a spell that has been cast over our nation. And yes, in fact, over some of the world, that people believe that these are great leaders. Because people on television keep telling them that they're great leaders and they're fantastic. These are the bottom of the barrel morons, and everyone's just kind of going along with it. It's very much like COVID. It truly is. It's like COVID. Everyone at a certain point, everyone figured out this is bull crap. This is just bull crap. A certain percentage, not maybe 30%. all in, and we'll talk about that later.
Optimist.
No, I think it's 30%, and there's a big piece in the middle who are just like, yeah, whatever, I really don't care. But now you're starting to see the harvest of letting these nut jobs run everything. And of course, Susan Rice resigned. Amidst all of the things going on, she picked a bad day to resign, or a good day. It was on the same day Tucker Carlson got fired, Don Lemon got fired. So, and she, of course, is resigning to run Michelle Obama's campaign. And I have more proof of this as Michelle Obama shows up in Barcelona, Spain, with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. She's on stage next to Patti Scialfa, who is, of course, the Yoko Ono of the E Street Band. And she's with a tambourine. This is the most insulting thing to any musician. Let her up there, sing along, and play the tambourine. And Bruce Springsteen, all in on it. And Little Steven, all in on it. Oh, this is great. Ready for a house party? All in. Why? Why in Barcelona, Spain? Why? This is profile stuff. This is profile. Now, of course,
wasn't Obama there? There's some other celebrities there in Barcelona.
Well, I don't know, but it was Michelle Obama, not Barack.
No, but Barack was there.
So what? He wasn't on stage. Why is
well, you can say that all you want, but there's pictures.
Yeah, great.
He looks terrible, by the way.
But who cares? Yeah, Michelle is killing him slowly. Sure of it. Anyway, I'll do one for your side of the house. As Michelle Obama, now she's on stage with The Light We Carry with Oprah. That's not a high-profile thing. Now Oprah is going to stop these rumors.
Every time there's a discussion about politics and who should run for president, your name comes up.
Listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd. How can you not want Michelle Obama to run with a crowd that just loves her? Oprah's like, come on.
Every time there's a discussion about politics and who should run for president, your name comes up. Woo! So why you bring it up?
Well, because we agreed to quash those rumors until, Joe dies.
So why you bringing it up now, Oprah? What you trying to do?
What you trying to do, Oprah?
This is why. I want you to click. So I was at a Sunday brunch and some people were talking about it and they were like, well, perhaps maybe she would consider it. Do you think she'll ever consider it? I say, guaranteed no. So can you tell the people why you will never even consider it, running for president?
Now, what reason could she give for never even considering it?
Because she's got no experience in government whatsoever, and the only reason anyone even knows who she is because she was the wife of a former president. Could that be it? That she'd say that?
No. No, she's an egotist.
First of all, it was like I've never expressed any interest in politics ever. I mean, I agreed to support my husband. He wanted to do it, and was great at it. But at no point have I ever said I think I want to run. Ever. So I'm just wondering, does what I want have anything to do with anything? Does who I choose to be, have anything to do with it?
This is a very weird answer in my mind. Why? This is very weird.
Well, this answer is a analog of the old, well, I don't want to run, but if I am chosen to run...
Ever. So I'm just wondering, does what I want have anything to do with anything? Does who I choose to be, have anything to do with it? Politics is hard, and the people who get into it, it's just like marriage, just like kids. You got to want it. It's got to be in your soul because it is so important. It is not in my soul.
Okay. All right. That seems clear. She's not going to run. It's not in her soul. It's just like having a family, though. But I think if they demand, they'd have to demand her. If they demand, then okay. Since you demanded, I got Barack. Barack understands how to do it. I'll be the president. I'm telling you, that would be a pure win.
By the way, you kind of hit on the perfect combination of people running, you just by accident. Michelle and
the twerp?
The Rock. Not Barack.
Michelle and The Rock, everybody. Big Mike and The Rock. Woo! And with that,
Mike and The Rock.
Hold on, show title. Big Mike and The Rock. We are horrible people. God bless you, Joan Rivers, for telling the truth. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courtesy in the morning to you, the man who put the C in CNN with Tucker. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to my friend on the other end, Mr. John C. Dobora.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. All in the morning, the ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and all the knights out there.
Before they leave, in the morning to the trolls in the troll room, let's count them. How many do we have before they start tuning out? Yeah, bam, baby, 25-13. Record.
No, it's not even close to the record.
And by the way, I don't mind that people leave. You know, it's okay. This is where we have all the interviews that you never hear. So, you know, it's okay if you don't want to hear the interviews that we do in the donation segment. Just ask around. Ask around.
So it's, what is it, 25-13?
Yeah, that's big for our new time zone, I think. Since we changed.
Pretty much in the ballpark.
No, you're always downplaying it. I'm proud of y'all trolls. Proud of the trolls who are staying is what I am. There you go.
Which reminds me, I should bring up this note.
You're not going to read the whole note, are you?
No, but I'm going to read parts of the note.
Okay.
So we got this guy, B. Jake, who's a producer, but he's bitching and moaning about everything we do. And then he says the control room login doesn't work. And then he goes on saying that you've been condemning his wife on the show.
Yeah, if you would mention her name or what I said, that would be helpful.
He doesn't help. That doesn't help. And then he condemns me for sending private messages in the troll room when I don't even go to the troll room, as you know, and we can prove, let alone sending private messages. And then so I made this comment to him. I bitched at him. He sent a note that just came in this morning.
Oh, he sent you a follow-up note.
Yeah, you didn't get it. You are right, he says.
Oh.
It was No Agenda Social.
Well,
so he's not talking about the show. He's not talking about the troll room, which he specifically says troll room and login problems.
This is the guy who said, I'm stupid because I don't know anything. I never look anything up. I don't research anything. He can't even get the difference between No Agenda Social and the troll room?
That's what he says. It was No Agenda Social. I apologize for the serious mistaken accusation and insult.
This is an outrage.
I'm sorry I upset you. My wife was upset too. But at this point, it's neither here nor there. Oh, yeah.
First
note was like 3-4 pages.
It was 3,000 words.
So I do think, though, that the most important part of this message was missed. The show was ungrateful toward many of the people that donated in the 2-for-1.
What?
When was this? We were ungrateful for the 2-for-1, which was last year for the 50, show 1,500 or whatever, 15 years.
Okay, look, all right. I don't want to bore everybody with this, and I don't even know why you're bringing it up. The matter was closed as far as I'm concerned. He's ageist. He said, Adam is 58. He should just fade away. He doesn't know shit. Doesn't know anything about tech.
Well, now I had to bring it up because of the following.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not going to try to prove this or that. He says, then he threatens us. That's why I had to read this. I respect you, which is why I wrote. It remains to be seen. It remains to be seen whether I still will respect you after today's show.
After I sleep with you again, I'll see if I respect you. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry if your wife felt disrespected. You didn't mention her name or what was said. I don't understand why you have to speak for her. If there's a problem, happy to address it with her, not with you. I think that you said something and she got pissed at you.
Me?
No.
You're him.
At him. This is what always happens.
Definitely. He's like that type of guy.
We've had these notes forever, and sometimes I dig into them. You actually dug into this one pretty deep. I mean, I was like, dude, what are you doing? But usually when people are really, really mad, and you address it with them, because I always turn the other cheek. You address it with them.
Crap! What is this? Go on. I'm sorry I said that.
Yeah, really. It's okay.
I've seen your notes.
I'm going to turn the other cheek on you for that. So when that happens,
sweet.
Sweet. Usually it's like You're right. My wife is mad at me. I ran over the dog. There's all kinds of stuff like that. So it's okay. This is part of the service we provide. We really do. It's okay. We're here to help you during COVID. We're here to help you during the great trans-Maoist period, which I look forward to discussing after this, and to the great interviews which we do during this donation segment.
Okay, so we'll just be Jack, the guy B Jack, and we'll just get rid of him. We beat Jack off. No. See, this is you being petty. Don't do that. The guy, I'm sure the guy's a donor, and he felt. No, I couldn't see any evidence of it.
His wife is a donor. Whatever.
Yeah, she probably is.
It's okay.
She's a good woman.
You know what? Yes, I agree. And I'm sorry for whatever I said. I'm sorry. I don't wake up to do this show and think, how can I be mean to someone? And I don't think you do. Well, you kind of do it to me sometimes, but otherwise...
I do. That's according to my wife. I'm mean.
To me, yes.
To you, yeah.
Did she say that?
Yes.
Mimi.
Yeah, she said that. She says, stop being so mean to Adam. He's sensitive.
But now I'm the sensitive guy?
You are.
Thanks,
You're the
Mimi.
sensitive guy.
Thanks, Mimi. All right. So, of course, you can log into the Troll Room. Login does work. Go to trollroom.io. Or if you're super smart and you want to ditch the legacy podcasting stuff, get a brand new app at podcastapps.com. We have this new live feature, which is now on 4 apps. We like Podverse. We like Podcast Guru, Podcast Addict, and CurioCaster. These are all apps that'll do this. It's where you get all your podcasts anyway. Now the live stuff shows up. And there's an increasing amount of live shows that are doing this. We've been doing it for almost 16 years. It is the wave of the future. It is one of the big differences with how we've improved podcasting, podcastapps.com. Or go to noagendasocial.com. I'm going to do that like a duck fart when we talk about eggs, okay?
You get your egg book yet?
No.
Okay.
I can't give a review yet.
Okay, it'll be coming.
Yeah. Noagendasocial.com. The login does work as far as I know. Although, interestingly, you're the one that also was bitching and moaning about the password reset doesn't work.
That was 5 years ago.
No, that was a year and a half ago, and it was just because you were looking at the wrong email address. It's okay. I turn the other cheek on these things. Yes, that's right. I'm going to keep saying it to you.
It would be fine if it wasn't the other butt cheek.
Yeah. NoAgendaSocial.com. You can follow me there, Adam at NoAgendaSocial.com, or John C. Dvorak at NoAgendaSocial.com. We had a best of clips of the day show for during my operation. Very grateful to our executive producer, Gustavo Raya, who put that together. Gustavo, if you haven't heard already, just look at my Twitter timeline or NoAgendaSocial.com. People enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah, they did.
People even said, I need to donate because of this. It reminds me how good this show is. And that is really appreciated when I hear those things. Gustavo, thank you so much. It was a dynamite episode. I edited a couple things around just to... Even our opening, by the way, people thought was pretty funny. I don't know why. They thought we always do wraparounds for these. That's what's known in the biz, wraparounds. Need some wraparounds. And people, it was you know what? It was an outstanding product, only to be topped off with the cherry brought to us by Sir Paul Couture, which was the artwork, which was dynamite. It was like this beautiful No Agenda logo. Could have been a challenge coin type thing. Media deconstruction, No Agenda, old-fashioned media deconstruction. It says it right there. We're old-fashioned media deconstruction. Somehow that felt good. I'm not sure why.
Going to be old-fashioned, yeah.
Old-fashioned media. But it doesn't matter. Since 2007. We're like vintage. We're small batch. Yeah.
Definitely small batch. Artisan,
very artisan. And thank you, Sir Paul Couture. We appreciate that. So I don't know if we can really do a deconstruction of the art because there was nothing to compete on. We did pull a piece for 1551, which I actually used as the bat signal today, which is another beautiful piece. So artists knocking it out of the park. If you want to participate in that, go to noagendaartgenerator.com. You can see what the artists are doing in real time. You can view it after the fact. And in fact, in those modern podcast apps, you can see in the chapters, which is new, you can see this artwork cycling through, which Dreb Scott does for us every single show. And we appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, how am I doing, though? How am I doing?
As far as I can tell you, there's no difference at all, you know.
And I'm still...
Sounds the same to me. I don't know.
I'm still swollen.
Maybe I should have my sinuses checked.
I'm telling you, man. The scan, it'll cost you about $200. And you stand in this thing, and it swirls around your head. And
God.
No, it's cool. And the periodontist, it's a CT scan, and the periodontist can take a look and say, "Oh, look at this. If you have low-level infection right by your sinuses, your life could be changed. You think you have allergies? No. That's what I thought. Gone. I was dripping all day long. Horrible.
Well, but what about from your sinuses?
Hey, there he is. See, mean. You're mean. Mimi is so right. Value for value was the model we chose. As you heard earlier, that's because if we had to make use of advertising, which is equal to censorship, the show would suck. So we don't want the show to suck. We're old-fashioned media deconstruction, and so by not sucking means that we live by a different model. We live not just by your boots-on-the-ground reports, but by your support of the show, and anything helps. It could be... by the way, I want to thank... Tim Goudrian, who's been doing the NoAgendaShow.net website. Have you looked at this website recently?
Yeah,
it is.
I have to look.
It's so kick ass, and he's using a lot of the podcasting 2.0 features in there. Really appreciate.
I look at it every time I post because I take my post from that site when I post on Twitter.
Right, yeah. And what's best about this website? Neither you nor I have to do anything. It updates automatically. All I have to do is just follow the rules, publish the RSS feed. It updates. People use it. There's chapters in there. You can add your own chapters. You can do what you share clips from it. It's phenomenal.
No, it's unbelievable.
And he has, by the way, offered to do the new donation page in case you're interested.
I'll talk to him. Yeah. I've got some ideas.
He would love to do this.
I have some failed pages I developed.
Now, I have a theory. Yeah. I have a theory that you actually do not have the login anymore to Dvorak.org. and that's why you're waffling on doing this page.
No,
come on.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a modicum of truth there. But no, I still have to log in, but I have to do everything to that site using FTP.
Yeah, and you don't have an FTP client anymore?
I had my FTP client with all the login information and everything on it was on the old...
You don't have that password anymore.
I know, I do have the password, but I don't have anymore as the client, and I got to go get another client, and I got to hook it up, and then I got to suck the password out of some other system. What?
I nailed it. I told Tina.
You didn't nail it.
I nailed it. I said, there's something. It's
just a roadblock. It's just a roadblock.
Dvorak.org/N.
See, we can't change that. You have to be able to put a forward on your roadblock here. Dvorak.org/NA. As long as you can put
very doable. I've actually set up a whole computer system in another room to do that.
You have what? You're contaminating another room in the house now with this bull crap?
What would be bull crap? This is the studio.
Oh, I'm sorry. That pile is the studio. Anyway, we'd like to thank a whole bunch of people. Of course, these are donations for two. See, this is what I'm talking about. Stuff that just falls over randomly. Crazy. This is for people who donated during the Best of show to keep us going, which is highly appreciated. It is unbelievable how cool that is when we have to take a show off, and not because we wanted to show off, because we had to take a show off. I literally was not able to talk on Thursday. And people say, you know what?
When could you start talking again? Because I sent a note to you on Thursday or Friday asking how you were.
Friday. And you sent it to me Friday.
Friday that you could talk.
Yes, Friday I could talk. Thursday, it was painful, John. I'm on naproxen. I'm on naproxen, dude.
It's like water off a duck's back. So you could talk. on Friday. So 2 days of healing and you could talk again?
No, 3 days. Took 3 days. And the problem, I can talk. Like I was sounding like this.
But you sounded like Sylvester the Cat.
No, Jason Calacanis.
Jason Calacanis.
The chat room, you're correct. Naproxen is actually equal to ibuprofen. It's not even like Tylenol. It's no drugs for me, man. No drugs. By the way, so Mitch Maverick, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to do something new this time." Whenever your periodontist says,
I don't like hearing that.
Says, "Oh, try something new," because the last time he gave me like some like Valium or what's the other thing that housewives eat? It comes in a brick.
Fentanyl.
No, that's the stuff he puts me out with. What is with a T? Come on.
Prozac.
No.
Well, you got your troll room there that should be providing this information.
Xanax. So it was a generic version of Xanax. And I had to take one the night before and then one in the morning. And so, by the time we're there, I'm
for anxiety, sure.
I know. So he says, "No, man, I got something new. We're going to do Halcyon." Dude.
Halcyon?
Yes.
Isn't that the stuff that makes your neck break?
I told him this is what Bon Jovi's doctor gave me on the way back from Moscow, and I was loopy for 2 weeks. He said, "Oh, I'm going to give you that dosage." This guy, he's funny. He's my friend now.
Okay.
And, he has a plane, so he's extra friendly. We fly.
I didn't go bombing around town.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so he gives me 500 milligrams of Halcyon. It took me like a full day and a half to really come out of everything. I was like, including the fentanyl. Anyway, I'm a junkie.
Well, you sound just absolutely the same. If we didn't even do this segment, no one would know.
Yeah, but I need some sympathy. We kick it off.
Why?
Why not? Tina's tired of being sympathetic.
Oh, you poor baby.
Yeah, that's what good man. I can't believe you came back to work. You're so great.
It's unbelievable what a stud you are to come back to work and sound normal.
Exactly. Thank you. We just went to Vegas. We kick it off with our executive producer, our top executive producer, Adrian Grabe from Austin, Texas, this is so $1,263.21. This has to be some kind of message. It was Palindrome donation day for 1550. By the way, nice job on whoring out my procedure for donations. The 3223.
Yeah, it was a fail.
Nice, it failed. In the morning, Adam and JCD, my sister, punched me in the mouth. So D. Doucher with $30. Okay.
You've been D-douched.
You don't think much of your sister. She's only worth $30. I met Adam at the Bastrop meetup. Great times. That's right. I remember you, Adrian. Yes. That was the huge Bastrop meeting. That was a meetup. That was a great one.
That was a biggie.
The palindrome remainder of 1233.21 will insta-night me. Sir, hey man, watch this shit. Hookers and Blow and an Al Sharpton crescendo.
Thanks to you, Ed. Is this Groundhog Day 2? We are watching that was Attorney General Eric Holder ABDs about some Republicans at home are already beating the drums of war.
You've got karma.
And thank you very much, Adrian. Dynamite.
And this takes us to our next guy. This came with a check and a short note.
Beautiful.
Gerald Block from Valley Center, California, came in with $1,000 with the note, Adam, nice to meet you in Nashville.
Gerald.
What'd I say?
And thank you, Gerald. It was nice meeting everybody.
And then he says, you guys crack me up, and that's the end of the note.
What a great note.
So he's from California, went to Nashville to say hello.
Yep.
Check in with his superiors, I guess, and say, they're okay.
I'm trying to think Tina will know. Because Tina has this uncanny ability to remember names. She says,
that's a salesperson's personality. She should be in sales.
She was in nonprofits. She knows exactly how to raise money.
Yeah, you just remember everyone's name. It's a winner.
Well, I'll tell you, nonprofit people, they're better than commercial salespeople. She will know, and she will say, "Oh, that's just," and the only people I remember from California per se, and maybe it's just as PayPal's in California. There were two who came to Nashville, left California to become farmers. I wonder if it's him. No, he would have mentioned his wife.
It's a farming state here.
Yeah, no, but it's a retard farming state. Sorry to say, just so you know.
We are the breadbasket. Come on.
Arun Parupali is in Mobile, Alabama. Comes in with 427.11.
It's probably a run. Now I can't pronounce it. Arun.
I would say Arun.
I would say Aaron.
Well, Parupali sounds Indian or Pakistani.
Could be Pakistani.
Yeah, okay. It's a shade of melanin, according to Don Lemon.
It could be.
Adam and John, thank you for everything you do. I'm a first-time contributor, and today my son Abhinav's 12th birthday. Yeah, that sounds like what we're talking about. He's born on 4/27/11. Oh, there's your number. Please wish him a happy birthday and good luck with this national archery tournament in 15 days. Thank you, Arun or Aaron. You should have given us a pronunciation.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Yes?
The kid's going to win.
I think so, too. We're going to give that kid some karma. Here's some arrow shooting karma.
You've got karma.
Also known as archery. And he's on
arrow shooting contest.
Yes, archery.
Timothy Weber in Marthasville, Missouri. 333.33, and this is a switcheroo.
Switcheroo.
This is the donations. This donation is start my best man and brother on the. Is to start my best man and brother on the path toward knighthood.
Nice.
On April 29th, I will be making the love of my life, my wife. I couldn't think of anyone better to have my side than my brother, Brandon Weber, the alt-knight of the alt-right.
Oh, good title.
Dad had one request before he passed away. He wanted us to stay close and raise families together. We are both working hard to honor that. And that being said, I don't think we'd ever have imagined that a podcast and two old white dudes, just don't use the cis.
Come on, throw it in there, man. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Cis white dudes would bond us. The inside joke, we are at family barbecues, which both know are not inside jokes at all, but shared with the thousands of producers of No Agenda.
Yes.
Your table number will be 33. Your donation is 333.33. All I'm asking is a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
For a long-time douchebag and a little wedding karma for myself and my lady. Okay, you got that.
A little wedding karma for you there, everybody.
You've got karma.
And Joel Nelson from Richfield, Minnesota comes in with the same, our favorite, 333.33. Another switcheroo. This donation is to complete the knighthood for my son, Francis Joel Nelson, born sometime on or after 4/26. Dude, do you not do you not know? Sometime on or after. Please knight him as Knight Francis III.
Oh, I see why.
He's a brand new human resource. Here it is. Update. Frankie was born at 00.01 hour Central Time on 4/28/2023. Congratulations. Welcome to Gitmo Nation, our new human resource, Francis Joel Nelson. You will be known as Knight Francis III, and of course, health karma for you and for Mama for a quick recovery.
You've got karma.
Excellent. Dynamite.
Brian Martinson, Arlington, Texas, 333.33. Hi, John and Adam. I hope you're recovering well from your dental work, Adam.
Thank you. I am.
What a week to go dark.
A lot of people were saying...
Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson, what the F? Thank you for giving us the greatest podcast in the universe. This is my second donation at 333.33. Best regards, Brian.
We have teenage girls wanting to be boys. We have a dumb, stupid war in Ukraine. We've got everyone's on pharmaceutical drugs, but this is what a week to go dark.
I know.
Some perspective.
Chewed up the news cycle like there was nothing else.
Oh, there is some. I got lots of other stuff. Then we have a rare, no note at all from Chap Williams from Edmond, Oklahoma.
Yeah, he comes in with a check every so often, a bank check. for 333.33, and then he writes a note on occasion.
But there was nothing on the note on the check.
No, it's a bank check. It's
well,
like
double up karma
check.
for you, chap.
You've got karma.
I think we do the same thing with Alex Thomas in Northcote, Victoria, Australia, who came with 333 and didn't have a note.
We'll give it
double up karma.
Double up karma. You got it.
You've got karma.
Then we have Baron No from Soest. Soest. Didn't even listen.
Soest?
Soest. Yeah, Soest in the Netherlands. Soest. Soest is it's a posh neighborhood where barons would live. 3:33 in the morning, donation for show 1551, which is 33, magic number times 47, the quintessential random number of the universe. Love is lit. I'd like some karma. WTC7 will go away. 33 is the magic number. Yours, Baron No.
WTC7 won't go away. 33, that's the magic number. It's the magic number.
You've got karma.
Well, our buddy Sir Kevin McLaughlin in Locust, North Carolina came in with a great donation, only one to do it. 320, which is JCD's 10x per tooth donation.
It paid off.
It did. General health karma for everybody. F cancer karma for the ladies and their sweater puppies. Not sure what that's all about.
Well, he is the
Laus Deo. What?
He's the boob donation. He loves America and boobs. So anyone who has issues with the sweater puppies, he wants to help them out. This is a very sweet thing to do.
Nice. Yeah, it is. Actually.
You've got karma.
What does Laus Deo mean?
It means something about
deodorant,
a good day, or something about. I'll have to look it up. It's Latin for something.
Well,
Deo, I think, means day.
Deo. Why don't you look it up while I read Wirt Fuller's note from Batavia?
Well, actually, read the next two notes while I look it up.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
$250. First associate executive producer for both of these shows, but we'll credit it to 1551 from Batavia, New York. And Wirt's note is handwritten. Gentlemen, thank you for always a great show. Need karma for my sister.
Oh, praise God. Should have known that. Deo's God, not day.
Oh.
I praise God.
Hey, I should have known that.
But I should have known I'm a Catholic. That's the kind of thing that Catholics would say.
Yes.
Or a lapsed Catholic. Let's get it straight.
A lapsed Catholic?
Yeah, it means I'm a Catholic who hasn't been to church forever. I don't go along with the program anymore.
That's
I'm
okay.
a lapsed Catholic. And
yeah, you're lapsed. Right.
I'm lapsed.
I would have thought there would have been a cool alliteration, something with a C, like crappy Catholic or something.
No, this is lapsed.
Thank you for always a great show. Need karma for my sister with cancer and a brother-in-law with long COVID. Ugh. Karma for all of No Agenda Nation and our nation as a whole. Thank you from Wirt Fuller. Yeah, you bet, man.
You've got karma.
I don't think the blowing of the nose was cool right in the middle of that.
Someone says long COVID, it makes me blow my nose.
Then we have Danielle Luipers from Venray in the Netherlands, a row of ducks, 222.22. A long note I will truncate. John Adam finally got a PayPal account so I could donate to you. For too many years, I was a douchebag, a leech, a tapeworm, and a parasite. Wow.
How do you pronounce her last name?
Luipers.
Luipers.
Daniela Luipers.
Daniela Luipers in Venray.
Venray.
There
you go. Knowing Adam from the TV in the 80s in the Netherlands, I recognize his name on the website, Argusoog, when they wrote about his interview with Misha Kat. Oh, this is the interview that the radio station burned down?
Oh, burnt to the ground, thanks to you.
I was intrigued. In the comments section, somebody pointed out the No Agenda show, and I was intrigued again. In the beginning, a little bit weird, with a lot of unfamiliar memes and traditions, but soon enough, I got used to the format. Oh, this is actually a nice note.
It is a nice note.
You've been de-douched.
I found a lot of valuable information brought with a great sense of humor. Loved it. You know you got hooked when you are in a conversation and you start your sentence with, at the No Agenda show, they say. They even say it on the air traffic control. I've hit some people in the mouth, and some took the bait. If they don't, then give up. It's very hard. If people don't take it, I guess I got woozy for a second. Hold on.
I agree with that.
I have the feeling that in the Netherlands, we are guinea pigs for the World Economic Forum. Psychopaths at the top. You know what? You are. You are at ground zero of the taste and texture fake meat. Bull crap. Corrupt to the bone, and some politicians too dumb to see it. Yeah. Trying to forbid broadcasters on national television because they give another viewpoint. Yeah, some guy got kicked out of the not just television, the government. I love your show. I hope I can enjoy it for a few more years. Hang in there, John. You're the oldest. What is this ageism? Danielle,
it is.
I would like to request an anti-cancer karma, we call it F-cancer, for my colleague Sylvia, who's fighting cancer for the 5th time now. She's a tough cookie and a warrior, wishing her a miracle healing. Dikke knuffel and de groetjes from Daniela. You bet, Daniela. And this is for you, Sylvia. We're all behind you. 5th time deserves a goat.
You've got
Here we
karma.
go. Nice note. Thank you, Daniela. Welcome to Gitmo Nation.
So I'm watching a show I'm going to recommend.
This is why people listen to the donation segment.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's on NHK. It's usually in the mornings and the weekends for sure. And it's called Somewhere Street. And it's probably the best travelogue show I've ever seen by anybody.
Somewhere Street. I've not heard of this.
Somewhere Street.
Okay.
And so it's about somebody roaming around with a camera and a man on, it's like a man on the street. There's an hour of roaming around some town. And the last one I saw was in China. Some weird little town in China, and they're roaming around, bumping into people, going into shops, and they're doing all this stuff that you would do if you were actually a tourist instead of just a tour guide.
Right.
And she runs into this woman flying a kite in this town in China.
Kite? This better be a good story.
Big kite flyers.
Yeah.
And it's a Chinese one with a cute little kid who is half Dutch, and the woman is Dutch. She lives in Holland.
Oh, okay. The story.
And
the
so
plot
she said,
thickens.
"Oh, you're married to a Dutchman." Oh, yeah. I come here to visit my parents. And she said, "Would you ever move back?" She said, "Oh, I'm going to want to move back one of these days because it's too slow in Europe." She was too slow.
I thought they were going to say.
Okay, onward with Dame Megalomaniac in Concord, North Carolina. There's yet another switcheroo for Kelly Shermer.
Switcheroo train today.
For her birthday on Tuesday.
Okay.
Recently, she writes, I recently got to witness her punching someone in the mouth. Then she mentioned the show. If we could please hear a listen to that horn, it would be appreciated. Happy birthday, dear friend, Dame Megan Lomaniac.
Oh my God! Woo! Listen to that horn!
Okay.
And there you have it.
Okay. Then we have Dave. Dave's not here. Dave's in the donation in Tucson, Arizona. 233. Hey, John Adam, first, I need a de-douche.
You've been de-douched.
Thank you for producing the best podcast in the universe. Well, the producers produce it. Y'all produce it. We just do it. I've been a listener for the past few years. I have no recollection of how I found this show. Stoner.
Stoner.
Hey man,
I've been listening. I don't know why.
I don't know how I found it, but just dropped it in my lap. At first, I thought it was okay. However, the jingles grew on me, as well as hearing both of you recount bizarre tales and observations, whether they are from the dirty streets of San Fran or the dusty trails of the hill country, as well as the occasional bickering. I am donating today because this show has saved me from going. Bickering. I don't know. What are you talking about? We never bicker. It's not true. Although, anyway, I am donating today because this show has saved me from going crazy by demonstrating that I wasn't the only one questioning the pandemic and the totally safe and effective jabs. Or that I wasn't the only person amused at anti-Trumpers vowing not to get the jab, but then as soon as the big Goldie was out of the office, they were racing and cutting in line to get Fauci's special concoction injected straight into their arms. Now, this reminds me, so yes, and this is a long-running subject of our newsletter, which John does.
I got a note from someone the other day because the recent newsletter Hypocrite of the Week has been COVID throwbacks to the people. I won't get that shot. I won't get any Trump shot. And then as soon as he's gone, you got to get the shot. It should be mandated. So I've been doing those like consistently, and I still got a few left. So I got a note from someone. This is getting old. You should give up on Hypocrite. And so I figured this is some poor bastard who got like 8 shots.
Which and we're not laughing about you doing that, but yeah. So I'm going to play 2 clips here since we're talking about it. It's appropriate. One of our producers put this little package together, 2 clips. Dr. Drew, who doesn't know him, Dr. Drew, everyone knows Dr. Drew, TV doctor, podcast doctor, used to do the Dr. Drew Adam Carolla. He still does the Dr. Drew Adam Carolla show, used to do Loveline. Dr. Drew, we like Dr. Drew. He's a good doctor. Dr. Drew, here's Dr. Drew from 2020.
Somebody's asking about Dr. Fauci. And again, just listen to Dr. Fauci, listen to Dr. Birx, do what they tell you. I've been saying that from the beginning. They are the ones who know what they're doing with this, and they will keep you safe. They don't do more, don't do less than they say, and you will be fine.
Now, Dr. Drew from 2023.
But I just want to say that I'm having the strangest emotional reaction to this material because on one hand, I am mortified, meets disgusted with what we've been through and what we're learning was happening and how I'm okay with these people saying we didn't know. Then why the certitude? Why the destruction of anybody who had alternative opinions? Why get out there and say categorically this is so? And do you not understand how media works? Do you not understand the impact of your words? This is bullshit. Credible. This is bullshit. This is incredible. We have to hold these people accountable. RFK said something incredible yesterday. He said, somebody asked him, what would you do as president if you were to bring this country together? You know what he said? Get them to stop lying to us. Stop lying. Stop lying, and we'll kind of come together on our own. It would make a huge difference. And by the way, explain yourself and apologize. I'll accept it, but stop lying. All right, we're going to take a little break. Be right back.
Wow. Right in the middle of the donation segment clip of the day.
Boom. Oh, no. It's highly unexpected. I wasn't even ready for that. Thank you.
Clip of the day.
Whoa. That was on a hope and a wing and a prayer. Didn't even know that this was gonna succeed.
So did he apologize like he suggested others do?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So we continue. A few years ago, I hit my brother in the mouth, and after helping my mother in the mouth, and after helping her back up and stopping some of the bleeding, dude, I told her about the show, and she loves you guys. Congrats to Adam for getting baptized and John for maintaining constant vigilance over the number of cars on the Zephyr containing men fisting nuts. See, that's what you get for being what were you, a lapsed Catholic? That's what you get. Lapsed. You get fisting nuts. Kudos. I want to thank you. Guys for your courage with regards to the Marxist trans cult sweeping across America and harming the youth. Yes, in fact, the youths. Once we're done with this donation segment, which is coming up, we do need to talk about this because this, to me, is analogous to the COVID situation. Parents, particularly, are confused. They are worried. They don't know what's going on. They have no idea. They're turning to us for help, which is weird when you think about it. But maybe because we were right with COVID, and I think now that people recognize that we call it the trans Maoist movement, but there's a lot going on, and we also have a lot of parents. Every day there's a parent telling me what's going on, or a professional. So we'll get to that in a moment. So yes, you're welcome. If you guys had any corporate sponsorship, you would have been canceled and forced to go on a humiliating televised struggle session. I don't think they would have given us that.
We would have been canceled in the 3rd or 4th year.
Oh, yeah. We would have been canceled during
we have about 3
swine flu.
I've talked about this. We have at least 3 cancelable moments
swine flu
in every single show where we've been fired.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. But back in the day, it would have been swine flu.
Swine flu is a good one.
Zika.
We even made a ridiculing jingle.
Yes, we did. Small heads are coming. This entire thing is being sponsored and funded by Big Pharma because it's a massive payday for them. Expensive surgeries, hormone treatments for life, free money from insurance companies, etc. Yes, true. Anyway, I'd like some karma from me and my wife. On Wednesday the 26th, I'm taking an important test to become a broker, and my wife is applying for law school to get her JD. Wow. A process that is made even more difficult as she is currently out of the country. Well, that's interesting. I would also like to request extra special goat karma again for my wife as we are in the middle of bringing her to America, but the immigration process is currently extremely slow. Dude, I'm so sorry. Get a good lawyer. You need a good lawyer. And email me because I have a good lawyer. I don't know if he can help, but and by the way, thank you, CDC, for renewing the vaccine requirement for travelers coming to the U.S. until August. You cucks, you pharma cucks. Oh, but you're fully vaccinated if you have one shot of the bivalent. This is for Pfizer. You're doing this for Pfizer. You horrible people. Come on, Congress, override this crap.
They tried.
No. They can do this. They tried. They do. No, they didn't try.
The Democrats stopped it. In the Senate.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so of course
actually, guys, take it back. It's Democrats and most of the Republicans.
Yeah, because they're all
There's
in
only
with
one or two guys.
with big
Rand
pharma.
Paul, is the only guy that stands out.
He's doing a great job, though. I mean, it's performative, but it's pretty funny. I don't even clip it. It's so performative. But
what?
Rand Paul.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's great, but it's all just
No, of course, he's just grandstanding constantly.
He's desperately trying to get us to clip him. That's what he's doing. I can't think.
Well,
no
I
agenda,
did clip
guys.
him, but for the next show.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the goat karma for your wife, brother.
You've got karma.
And then we might as well just add Kevin McAtee from Littleton, Colorado, with $200, our final associate executive producer. No note from Kevin, so a coveted double up karma for you.
You've got karma.
Now, that concludes our executive and associate executive producers for show 1551, which is a palindrome, which produced nothing. Although we did have some coming later. You want me to read these off and get these out of the way?
No.
You can do a second segment.
Of course we're doing a second segment. You crazy?
Not that many.
No, but I have a lot of meetup reports. I've got nightings. You don't think about all I do.
I try not to.
Thank you to these executive and associate executive producers. These are forever credits, meaning they're with you for life. All right? For life, like herpes. For life. You never get rid of them. But they are recognized as a badge of honor amongst your fellow Gitmo Nation citizens. You can use them in professional cases. Put them on IMDb. They are recognized as very official show business credits. You can claim yourself to be an executive or associate executive producer of the No Agenda Show, episode 1551. Palindrome. You can even add that to your resume. And unlike the phonies in Hollywood, if anyone ever questions you, we will be more than happy to vouch for your producership. Thank you very much for supporting it, and we'll be thanking more producers in the second segment. If you'd like to become a producer of the No Agenda Show, go here.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And a special karma for those who forgot to call it.
You've got karma.
And thank you for producing 1555.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth. Order.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
All right, bear with me if you mind, John. I got to do this trans-Maoism segment because I'm telling you, the amount of emails I'm getting about this and the type of email, both from people who are very worried about their children, as well as people who are in the field, boots on the ground, is really on the level of COVID. So I think it's our duty to help. No one else is really being honest about this. And we don't have to be honest. We just have to tell people what the producers say. They know it. They're out there in the field. So let's start with a clip just to get us into the mood. CBS.
Breaking news. Montana's governor signed a bill tonight to ban gender-affirming medical care for young people.
So this has to stop. I'm just going to say it again. Gender-affirming medical care is word salad bullcrap. It's sex change operation for minors. That's what it is, not gender-affirming medical care. That is a, what is the word? It's a spell.
Well, misnomer.
Misnomer. It's a spell.
It's a bullshit.
Yes.
Breaking news. Is that a word?
Yes. No, well, there's got to be a word for something that. A euphemism. It is a
euphemism. That's the word. That's the word.
But I think we should add bullshit euphemism to it, because that's what it is. It's not gender affirming medical care. That is a psychological term to make you feel bad about children not getting, and they now shorten it to care. The care they need. It's not the care they need. A reminder, this is a spell that's only been cast over the United States right now. Sweden, Norway, Denmark, France, UK are all stopping the medical transitioning. Look, if you want to be queer, if you want to be questioning, non-binary, you want to be Jacques the waiter, if you want to be a robot, fine by me. No one cares. But when it comes to, without parental consent, doing medical stuff on children, you're a creepy ghoul.
Breaking news, Montana's governor signed a bill tonight to ban gender-affirming medical care for young people.
Disingenuous euphemism. Thank you, Troll Room.
Including surgeries and hormone treatments. The state's battle over the bill led to the removal of the state's first openly transgender lawmaker from the House floor. More than a dozen states now ban the treatment for minors.
All right, so now the way this is being positioned is very important. And I even got an email about this saying, I like what you guys are doing. I think you're really covering the trans stuff fairly. But to be fair, you've got to know that, the Republicans hate us. The Republicans, and this was a non-binary person. I asked specifically, are you trans? No, I'm non-binary. Okay, whatever you want to be. It's now positioned as anti-trans legislation. Or anti-LGBTQ legislation, which is completely disingenuous because L's and G's don't want to transition. They are happy with what they are. Also fine. By the way,
they are technically cisgendered.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And we should point out, the whole concept of cis is to make everyone a category. No one can be quote unquote normal. Yeah, I said it. Normal. Just, the norm. What it used to be.
If you want me to intersperse some of these TikTok clips I've got, which are right at exactly what we're talking about here, or wait.
No, I think when it's appropriate, you call it, and then is there one you need now? Do you need one now? Hold on.
Talk. TikTok.
I'm ready. We got to add that in. This is very important because, let me set you up. And I'll set you up with a boots on the ground report. Working here, your psych ward nurse here, working in a psych ward in 2023 with teens and active military, boots on the ground. Frontline psych ward nurse here to give you some insight into working with active military patients with psych disorders and teenagers who are inpatient with psychological disorders. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Boots on the ground. You're not going to see this on CNN, MSNBC, whatever we just played, CBS. With children that we have seen, I'd say about 4 out of 10 of our teen patients at any given time of the year since 2021 identify as their opposite sex or non-binary. This has noticeably increased since 2020. Back in 2006 to 2020 at my psych hospital, we had 0 of those patients. 0. This started during the lockdown. When children were on screens, the predators came out. And we had, they were already on drugs, and the therapist, the rapist, depends on how you read the term, they started coming up with all this groovy stuff. That a spell on them too, I guess. The patients we housed previous to 2020 just would say they were gay or lesbian. 2019, we had one of our first trans teens. By the start of the pandemic in 2020, it became commonplace for these LGBTQ teen patients. And just to make it clear, we have had 0 actually fully transitioned teen patients, but plenty of, quote, pill-popping trans. which means my understanding, they were already on psychotropic drugs for their anxiety or anything else that we've convinced ourselves, and the schools have convinced parents that, we need some meds. And now they're, of course, I guess the pills will also be puberty blockers and or hormones. As far as active military patients that identify as non-binary, they, them, opposite sex, and what's not, it's about the same. 4 out of 10. They hold on to their trauma as if it identifies them. Sad to see, because those people will never get over their trauma. It's like as if they wouldn't know who they would be if they actually got over their trauma, and our doctors just cater to their trauma because it's what pays them. This is from a nurse. This is just like we had people saying who were training ventilator operators. So we're killing people. It's the wrong thing to do. We heard that back in 2021 during our Vegas meetup. Also, when a patient claims to be identified as trans or opposite sex, non-binary, etc., the teen/patient just has to say so. Most don't even look anything like their opposite sex claim, and the non-binary, all they really do is look like a non-gender person, weirdly. These patients are not specific to any race either. It's all races across the board. One thing I've learned from working in a psych ward full-time since 2006 is this. The secret to not ending up in a psych ward or low in life is confidence. Listen up, parents. The one thing every patient has in common that enters our hospital is lack of confidence. Whether they have a psychological disorder like psychosis where they hear or see things, depression, addictions, mania, suicidal, whatever it may be, the one thing they lack is confidence. I ask all the patients I talk to a question. Are you a confident person, or would you consider yourself confident? The answer so far has always been no. I tell them that to work on their confidence is the fastest way to helping them feel better or get out of the psychological situation they're currently in.
Wow.
I know.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
Because I don't think that obviously applies to the two of us being lacking confidence.
No.
Can't do a podcast. There you go. That maybe podcasting is the way to achieve confidence.
It's the solution.
Maybe.
Well, and so before we do a TikTok clip, so now to Montana, and the trans representative, whose name is this sounds like a bullcrap name too. Zoe, what is her name here?
Zoe or Zoe?
No, it's Zoe, Zooey Zephyr. Can you believe it? Zoe
Zephyr.
Zoe
okay,
Zephyr.
Sure.
Yeah, Zoe Zephyr. And Zoe Zephyr is trans. Zoe Zephyr is an M2F trans. And the reason why Zoe Zephyr got censured and can still vote and can still represent her base is because she told everybody, passing this law, you got blood on your hands, which apparently is out of decorum for the Montana Senate.
It would be for a lot of senates.
Yes, of course it would be.
You can't excoriate the fellow members of your branch of government.
So here she is, just 1 minute, he, she, whatever you want to be, I don't care, with an explanation of this statement.
The legislature has systematically attacked that community. We have seen bills targeting our art forms, our books, our history, and our health care.
Okay, so this is just unbelievable. Targeting our books, our culture.
The books, by the way, is another
art.
little disingenuous euphemism when they say, the Republicans are banning books. And I hear this on mainstream media all the time. They're not banning, they're banning borderline pornography from children's libraries. It's not the same as banning books.
It's and the culture, drag shows for children is not culture. It's just not. It's not. It's not.
I agree. It's not culture. They're not taking them to a museum.
No. They even have drag shows in museums these days. And Americans are, this only in America. I talked to Christina about this maybe 3/4 of a year ago. And she, Christina's had her own journey. She says, Dad, the trans stuff is such bullcrap. She says, everyone I know who transitioned has either committed suicide, is thinking about it, or talking about it. She says, it's horrible. It's horrible. Nothing is going right with these people. I said these people.
You did.
Yes.
You're out.
Yeah. So again, these are all disingenuous euphemisms, books and culture and art. No, just no. They're trying it everywhere. Even in little Fredericksburg, Texas, they tried to bring it in. From Austin, they came, we're therapists. Ding, ding, ding. We're therapists. Children have anxiety. We need to help them out. No. And, the mama bears had to get up and say no. It's a big crisis here in our community. Big crisis.
That's the last place I'd expect that.
That's why it's, yes, a crisis. It's unbelievable. And maybe I should just point out, the only people who are well organized in Fredericksburg are the churches. We have quite a number of churches in Fredericksburg. And there are churches who are just all in on it. All in on the woke. It's so good.
Yeah, the churches are actually, this is the untold story amongst the complainers, is that the churches are often co-opted.
Yes.
They're co-opted.
I have a clip.
This is what the Maoists do. They co-opt things. They target and co-opt, and it works.
Then I have to stop this Montana clip right away and play this clip. Now, it's a long, drawn-out thing, but this is 1 minute, and it's important in context of this. I hate that I have to bring Dylan Mulvaney into it, but Dylan Mulvaney broke her silence, then talked about all the controversy, and I pulled this clip because it is exactly what you just said.
What I'm struggling with most is that I grew up in a conservative family, and I'm extremely privileged because they still love me very much. And I grew up in the church, and I still have my faith, which I am really trying to hold on to right now.
And by the way, Christian fascist is the term now. So Dylan Mulvaney is telling us that she grew up in the church and is struggling very hard to hold on to her faith right now.
But I've always tried to love everyone, even the people that make it really, really hard. And I think it's okay to be frustrated with someone or confused. But what I'm struggling to understand is the need to dehumanize and to be cruel.
Welcome to celebrity. That's when you want to be in the public eye and a celebrity, people are cruel towards you. They write you nasty emails. They're ageist towards you. They're sexist towards you. They say horrible things. You want to be in the public eye, that's what you get.
I don't think that's right. Yeah. Dehumanization has never fixed anything in history.
Notice the term dehumanization. This is purposeful. This is Nazi. That dehumanization, they're Nazis. Trust me.
And, I'm embarrassed to even tell you this, but I was nervous that you were going to start believing those things that they were saying about me, since it is so loud.
And remember, Dylan grew up in the church.
And I don't know if reincarnation is a thing, but in my next life, I would love to be someone non-confrontational and uncontroversial.
Yeah.
God, that sounds nice.
Yeah, okay. That last bit tells me you didn't grow up in any church. You're full of crap.
This is true.
I grew up in the church. I don't know if reincarnation
I grew up in the church, but I believe in reincarnation like a Hindu. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good work.
The telling moment in that clip was at the very beginning. You might want to play it over again, where she says, "I'm very privileged," and then she explained why is she privileged? Because she grew up and she still has a loving family. So privilege
is having a loving family.
Is having a loving family, because a lot of people literally do not have a loving family.
What I'm struggling with,
privilege all about just having a loving family? According to her, it is. Listen to that.
Most is that I grew up in a conservative family. And I'm extremely privileged because they still love me very much. And I grew up in the church.
Okay, well, that's even better than this. I have a conservative family and I'm privileged because they still love me very much. Because, conservative families are dicks. That's what is being said here.
Well, that's the subtext.
I grew up in a conservative family, and I'm extremely privileged because they still love me very much. And I grew up in the church, and I still have my faith, which I am really trying to hold on to right now.
Yeah. And Troll, you can stop yelling at us about say he, not she. You're part of the problem now. This is not even about the pronouns. The pronouns is what confused parents to start with. Okay? So just stay with the story and don't get distracted. Don't get distracted.
Just wait. I'm not going to interrupt this moment because of that pronoun thing. I want to play one of these TikTok clips. There's a new pronoun.
Okay.
They dream them up on a daily basis. This is the TikTok clip void pronoun.
Let's talk about void self pronouns. Void self pronouns are neopronouns inspired by the word void, and they can be used by anyone regardless of gender identity or expression. They also may fall under the D human pronouns, and void pronouns were created in 2014, and they're used in the same way that they them pronouns are used. So you might say, I met Void today, or Void went to the shop, if you are the individual who uses void pronouns.
Wait a minute. I couldn't hear that perfectly. Explain what was going on here in this clip.
These are new pronouns, void. So I was at Void's today, and Void said, blah, blah, blah. So this is where the pronoun thing is headed. Yeah. They're dreaming up new ones in addition to the old ones. We don't know why.
No, I do know. I do know why, and we've discussed why. And, okay, yeah, of course it matters. Yes, words matter. We're a little beyond that, but we'll step back. The reason the pronouns were brought in is to confuse your brain. When you clearly see a man and the man says, you got to call me a woman, she, when I'm not around, because that's how pronouns are used, that is confusing, and it upset the balance between children and parents. We've all seen it. No, Dad, it's them. You've gotten it. I've got it. We all get that. Correct?
Absolutely.
So that's, now, of course.
I'm sorry, 100%.
No, 5 by 5. We're old white cis guys, so, we don't get fooled by that. And we just say, yeah, you know what? It's not even grammatically correct.
Well, that's the reason I wanted to play that clip, because if somebody in the chat room is going on and on about this sort of thing, this is where it's leaded.
Yeah.
Leading.
Void. All right, back to, we'll just say, the Montana senator.
Legislature has systematically attacked that community. We have seen bills targeting our art forms, our books, our history, and our healthcare.
History?
And history is another great one. Another great one is the history. What is the history? What is the history? What is the history of trans? I'd love to see the history of trans. Because the history is based on two twins, one of whose penis was mutilated by a botched circumcision, and it's, you can look all this.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the history we have to be aware of now.
Yeah.
This is a sub-minority of the minority of the whole.
Well, to be sure,
okay.
To be sure,
I'm sorry.
To be sure, there is a very small percentage of people who really are gender dysphoric. Absolutely. Yes.
0.01 is my understanding.
Yes. But it's not 40%, okay? It's not 40%, which is what it is now. We've been through this social contagion. It's mainly girls. 80% of the transitioning is girls. The men to female transition is a huge distraction because the girls are being harmed. And that is part of the Maoist agenda, which is being taken over by certain politicians, mainly left-leaning, who see the power of that, which is very short-sighted because they're only thinking about one generation of cycle, because when you sterilize all the girls, you're not going to have any people left to vote for you.
And I rose up in defense of my community that day, speaking to harms that these bills bring and that I have firsthand experience knowing about.
Okay, so the actual bills, just words on paper, are bringing actual harm to people.
I have had friends who have taken their lives because of these bills. I have fielded calls from families in Montana.
So she has friends, I should say I had friends, who have taken their life because of these bills. I saw a bill, and instead of fighting, I took my own life. I don't believe this, by the way.
Including one family whose trans teenager attempted to take her life while watching a hearing on one of the anti-trans bills.
What we never hear about is the type of psychotropic drugs these teenagers were on. And while you're at it, you might want to add that a third of all teenage girls thought about suicide during the lockdown because they were all on their screens. They're all captured, and parents sadly are ignorant of what social media does, are ignorant of the iPad, the iPhone, the dark patterns, everything that tricks children to look at things. They're ignorant of what's out there online, ignorant of the medical community, and many of them are completely hooked themselves on TikTok. And in fact, parents who are telling them that you're trans, it's great to have a trans kid. I had my hair cut before a Tuesday before I had my operation. So it was nice to get out of the house, went to Austin. You know, I haven't driven in a long time.
You went to Austin to get your hair cut?
I always do because, you know, I'm a show business guy, old school show business guy. And when you go to hair and makeup, that's where your therapist is. That's where you talk about stuff. And I talk with my hair person about movies and culture, and she is right in the middle of all of this stuff. She probably voted for Biden and certainly voted for Obama. She knows my stance on stuff. She listens to, she's a Joe Rogan fan,
Yeah,
so she
but
loves
she's
Joe
not an
Rogan.
idiot. Yeah.
No, she's not. She said, and this was all under her breath, right? Because she said if it was a Monday.
Yeah, this is a room full of liberals.
Mm-hmm. She says, the amount of my clients who come in here and have trans children is off the hook, she says. She says, all of my, not all, but a whole bunch of my liberal clients, liberal Austin, oh yes, my son or my daughter's trans. She said, and she has a theory, because the same people were the ones who were freaking out during COVID, you know, who still wear masks outside in the fresh air.
Yes, they're around here, believe me.
And she said she believes that this is the one thing that they can grab a hold of that they can control, which I thought was a fascinating observation. She says these parents are they're so traumatized by what happened with COVID, which is all a part of Fauci and Birx and the whole M5M, the whole medical community, everything. So traumatized that there's one thing they can control, and that's their trans child. I'm doing everything right here. It's all about the doing everything right. You know, wear the mask, get the shots. You know, social distancing, etc. Very, very frightening to hear that these people have been put under such a spell, but it's really happening.
And in that hearing, our caucus...
It's called Munchausen by proxy, actually.
With the Republican chair of the Judiciary Committee to not allow certain testimony, to keep decorum. And we were told a lot of people have a lot of opinions on these things. So when I rose up and said, there is blood on your hands, I was not being hyperbolic.
Yes, you were being super hyperbolic. Next email, COVID trans. Hi, Adam. Your recent segment about social media contributing to the social contagion of transgenderism in young girls reminded me to share some inside information with you regarding this phenomenon. New shit has come to light. I've got information. My wife has worked the last 6 years for a company that makes prosthetic penises for trans men. I mean, we have no listeners of any influence, but we've got interesting people out there.
We have the
absolute
we
best.
have the meat.
Prior to COVID, sales had started to peter off. Pardon the pun. Okay, so and they're humorous, and she'd become worried about her job security. So again, a prosthetic penis for trans men company. Prior to COVID, she's worked there for 6 years. And sales had started to dwindle. However, once the lockdowns hit, business soared like never before. The company was inundated with orders, and she couldn't keep up demand. While stimulus checks certainly contributed to this, I believe there was another larger reason for the spike, one that you spoke about during the last show. When young girls were locked in their homes, they were stuck on social media, especially
TikTok.
That's right. TikTok. Exactly.
Talk.
TikTok. Which exponentially increased the audience for these types of videos. With the extreme social isolation and the overall mental health crisis that occurred during this time, many young girls were primed to embrace this type of ideology and become the seeds of trans Maoism. Combine this with plenty of mental health professionals who have been trained to affirm a person's identity in the name of acceptance and social justice, and you had the perfect formula to accelerate the situation. It was another mass formation from COVID, or in this case, it was mass transformation. It's possible China could be promoting this to encourage the sterilization of American youth in order to reduce the population divide between our countries as whether firmer foment a Maoist-style communist revolution in the U.S. No, I don't know about that. Yeah. But it's interesting. I don't think so. But based upon our analysis of TikTok, this is the danger of their algorithm, which delivers no counter messaging. If you are all in on trans, you're going to get all the videos that John gets. All of them. That's why you get them, John. I don't ever see any of this. Whenever someone sends me, I don't have TikTok. Whenever someone sends me a link, it knows me, of course. But it sees my browser. It's going, that guy. Oh, no, we're not going to give him any of that. But let's talk about something that hasn't been discussed when it comes to social media, TikTok, etc. During the lockdown, we had a huge increase of something called kidfluencers. Ever heard of this term?
Yep.
Here's a report from Houston from 2020.
In 2020, most kids are getting more screen time than what's recommended, and it turns out it might have long-term health consequences, according to Dr. Lindy McGee from Harris Health in Pasadena.
And making it look like they're just playing with something or making it look like they're just eating something, but they're getting paid to do that.
In a study published in the Journal of Pediatrics, they looked at 418 YouTube videos. 179 of them featured food and drinks, which popped up almost 300 times. Anyone searching for kid and teen videos can easily be bombarded by social media stars playing with toys, fast food, coffee, even though for decades TV characters haven't been allowed to do things like this viral video of JoJo Siwa saying she's eating 100 Happy Meals. And yet there are no regulations for this. What's worse, your kids under 8, according to McGee, are not developmentally able to recognize ads.
For those kids, we really should be limiting their access to media and making sure that the media that they're absorbing is educational and ethical.
To prove that this is very effective, of course, there's nothing in here about you being trans, etc. I heard last night from one of our producers that her daughter, 9 years old, reported to her, "Hey, all the kids in my class are drinking coffee."
I love it.
And so this is the influence. And when you don't understand, when your representatives in Congress are completely oblivious, don't know anything about this is not their job. This is very new. And I don't have an answer, by the way, other than parents, you gotta figure out what's going on. You gotta take this stuff away from your children. This is like code red, DEFCON 1. It's like this is unbelievable what's happening.
This is difficult when these devices are babysitters.
Yes, which you, again, go to the mall, you see. But it's the parents themselves. They are hooked on TikTok.
Yes, the parents themselves are on these things too.
Which is where it comes from.
I look around, as you know, my phone, which I haven't used for...
is in the drawer.
A year, is in the drawer. And I will pull it out and get a SIM card for it and use it if I'm traveling to Europe.
Yes.
But why? I don't need it around here. I know how to get around. I don't need a map. But everybody else, I mean, we could do dinner. I can come in with the camera. I'm going to start doing this. I can come in with the camera and take a picture of the table. Everybody at the table will be on the phone, looking at something.
So, and this is why I'm saying it's so analogous.
Everybody.
Yeah, this is so analogous.
And by the way, one more thing. You pointed this out to me, and I didn't pay much attention to it at first, and then I started seeing it, is the women roaming around town with a phone in their hand.
Oh, yeah, walking.
Now I'm seeing guys roaming around with a phone in their hand walking.
Are they guys or women who identify?
No, these are guys, real dudes, walking around with a phone in their hand like a woman.
I mean, there may be a generation lost. I don't know, but I think there's enough. Look, 850,000 people listen to this. Let's save these children that we speak to their parents. You've got to cut this shit out already. You've got to get rid of it, because everywhere you go, this is being propagated by media everywhere. In fact, I need to play a clip of the liberal intellectual elites, the liars, the lies. That would be Kara Swisher, your protege, I might add, your protege, who you trained on Silicon Spin. You trained her, and her very popular show, the award-winning technology podcast. Who knew it was a technology podcast? Pivot.
They never talk about technology, but okay.
See, there you go. That's exactly how Kara talks. But okay. You should have said continue.
But okay.
Continue.
Yeah, please continue.
With the ever effervescent Professor...
You think she got it?
Professor Scott Galloway. And so this is political, of course. And they're talking about Governor DeSantis, who, of course, is just as horrible as Tucker Carlson, is just as horrible as Elon Musk. Worse, maybe. Yes, worse. In fact, Kara Swisher, I think, does something very evil here, but she also makes an interesting point.
And the other thing is that I think he underestimated, Florida has a really robust and wonderful gay community. Mm-hmm. And they drive a lot of business. There's whole parts. I've spent a lot of time in Key West, and the gay community is thriving there. And I just can't believe, at some point, the demo and democracy does kick in here.
One would assume, but I'm thinking of the Weimar Republic, where it was a huge Berlin gay community, and then they killed them. So, I think it could go a lot of terrible ways, but I would agree. This is dumb. This is so...
That escalated fast.
I'm sorry, but haven't you seen Cabaret? Haven't you seen Cabaret Berlin Stories?
Yeah, you're right. No, people think it couldn't happen here. It can. I agree.
They can come at you. But I do not think that that's where the country is in a different, we have obviously a much more vibrant democracy, a much more diverse democracy than they had in Weimar Republic. And they had all kinds of economic issues post-war, all kinds of differences, but they can come at you. When I told you they were going to come at 12th graders, you said, no, they're not. It's young kids. And I was like, no, they're not. It's everybody. They're trying to win what they lost back, and they will stop at nothing. They never go away. They're like mold, these people.
So she is propagating something here which is very interesting, the Weimar Republic. The Jewish Heritage Museum actually has an entire online exhibit about the gay, but most importantly, which she's not genuine here, the trans community in Weimar Republic, Berlin. And to say that, the very different financial situation. No, it was hyperinflation. So it was actually quite similar to now. And what this resulted in is Nazis, which she's now saying is Ron DeSantis. She's drawing this conclusion. But
she wants you to think of Ron DeSantis as Hitler.
As Hitler, correct. And she brings in, she's really conflating homosexuality with transgenderism. It's two completely different things. So she's very disingenuous about it.
A lot of people don't get that. Well, she doesn't realize she's cisgendered.
Yeah. It's a real problem that she's doing this. It's a very big problem.
I would say to use the terminology, cisgendered homonormative. Yeah, that's exactly correct.
That's right. I think you're right. Glenn Beck had a very interesting guy on his podcast. I'm doing a little bit of research, going to go on again. Jonathan Cahn. And Jonathan Cahn wrote a book called The Return of the Gods. And I'll just give you his thesis because it's interesting. You can go research it for yourself. He says that what happened is when Jesus came 2,000 years ago, more than 2,000 years ago, everyone started believing God and drove out all the spirits that were a part of the three gods, which is Baal, Ishtar, and Moloch. And that they returned to the United States in 1969 during the Stonewall riots. And he has a theory that is mind-blowing, right down to dates and everything. And it's an interesting theory. He says that it has slowly come back, and the most recent return was indeed in Nazi Germany. And look at what happened. So it's something that if you're interested, you should look at. But that's not
Pat Robertson at work. Okay, let's play a few chips from the
play me some chips. Yeah, and then I have one more note, and then we can be done with today's adventures in trans-Maoism.
Let's start with the hatred and the war on cis.
Let's
start with talk cis people.
Oh, there we go.
You know, one of the reasons why cis people think they're real or natural or the default is because they've fallen into the trap of the myth of white supremacy. Yup, they're connected. So if you think things like trans women aren't women, or if you call people trans but then refuse to call yourself cis if you're cis, that means that you have been influenced by one of the original influencers. The twin siblings of colonialism and the myth of white supremacy. And those twin influencer siblings get paid by capitalism to influence. They have literally influenced you to believe that there is a version of a man and a woman that is more human than all the other versions. Sound familiar? Yep. White dominant culture, colonialism, capitalism, they've been working real hard on us. Remember, just like with any influencer trend that is toxic, we don't have to believe it and we don't have to follow it. And in fact, we can even point out the ludicrousness and make it completely obsolete.
This is the same as vaccinated, unvaccinated. It's the same spell. It is.
I love it.
This is fantastic. This is a very good addition to this whole segment. I love it. Give me more.
Let's go to hating whitey.
I don't trust white people. I don't trust white people for a multitude of reasons. But
let me guess. Is she white?
No, black.
Oh.
I don't trust white people. I don't trust white people for a multitude of reasons, but one of the main reasons is they're unpredictable. Like, I think about all the times where I really considered white people my friends, and then when we got in a small argument, they released all the racism they hid throughout our whole friendship. Scary. And then I think about the fact that I become mutuals with people, give them the opportunity to come clean about any problematic past. They say nothing, and then they get exposed for being racist. And it's never like some low-key, like I used to say the N-word in songs. No, it's like N-word hard R against black people. Like tell me why white people are normalizing racist past. Also, I think about the fact that white people have continuously, when given the opportunity, oppressed multiple marginalized communities. And I think about the fact how easy it is for them to do it again. Like, if they really wanted to, they would bring slavery back. They kind of already did with the criminal justice system. Oh. Plus the rate of hate crimes. I will legit always be scared of white people until they're the minority, which I hope will be sooner than I think.
This is it. This is exactly it. This is the damage that people, this is the drugs that people are ingesting, the mind drug, and it is driving people mental.
Let's listen to the University of West Virginia professor.
For those of you who don't know me, I am a medical school professor specializing in molecular biology. I also have an extensive background in gender studies and queer studies. The idea of sex as an immutable characteristic is a turf talking point that's been around for decades, and it's been weaponized against trans women in particular in the fashion of, oh, but you will always be male and therefore invading female spaces. Sex as it pertains to humans is a construct. It is a set of spectrum variables with bimodal distribution that we draw an arbitrary set of boundaries around into two broad categories, but they are not immutable characteristics. Almost all of those characteristics can be changed through hormones or through surgery. This is literally an argument that gets trans women killed and is the thing that people are using to tell us that we can't change our birth certificates, right? Stop.
Yeah, very different from changing from medical interventions. Again, Affirmation Generation, a documentary made by self-described Democrats and liberals about which proves that 80% of the transitioners are teenage girls, and that the detransitioning is 83%, not 1%, according to Google, and that it's very, very. It doesn't end well. Now, because of these people right here, we get the following note from a producer. My friend works at a climbing gym I used to work part-time for. He sat in on an interview, and when his manager asked the gal being interviewed what she thinks her strengths are, I shit you not, she said, I think one of my biggest strengths is that I'm queer. I think it would bring good optics to the business. Can you believe that?
Well, that's if you're in that mind trap, you would, I think is a very logical thing to say. Because these people, if you listen to them, really think they're in the majority.
Yes. Well, in the media, they are. In the media, they are portrayed as righteous, correct, kid-friendly, very pro-child, What's good, very.
Here's the pro-child, best pro-child clip. Listen to this clip called Weird Logic.
The thing that gets me about the anti-trans conservative rhetoric around like puberty blockers for trans kids is that if they really did care about making sure children weren't being mutilated or weren't being like coerced, they would be the number one advocates for puberty blockers, not only because they're empirically supported and because they were developed for cisgender people, but because they would realize that forcing somebody to go through a puberty with a dominant hormone that is misaligned with your actual gender, that would be, by their terms, mutilation. Because imagine if we sat a bunch of 13-year-old cisgender boys around and we were like, hey boys, we know that you're boys. And we know that you've been boys as long as you've been alive, and it's very clear to us that you are boys, but we just want to be so sure. So we're actually going to make you go through estrogen-based puberty instead. So that way, like, when you get to the end of that road and you're 18, you can decide if you still wanted to be that boy that you always showed signs that you were. Can you imagine if we did that? That would be fucked up. But that's literally what you are doing to trans kids. Because forcing somebody to go through a puberty with a dominant hormone that is misaligned with your actual gender is a forced mutilation by conservative standards. So you would think that they would be the number one advocates for blockers and go, oh my gosh, yeah, why don't we like put a pause on this so that way you can decide and like in a couple years see how you feel. Like, I just wish they would shut up.
Yeah, again, watch Affirmation Generation. You'll see that it is not reversible. It is not something temporary. In fact, a lot of these drugs are the same drugs, Lupron, I think it is, that are used to castrate sex offenders.
Yeah.
This is absolutely, and whenever someone says conservative, Republicans, GOP, Christians, then it's political. These people have been hijacked, and it's political. It has nothing to do with children.
I agree, 100%.
Oh, my God, 5x5. Stop saying it.
That particular clip, which is so illogical, it's backwards, it's back-asswards.
Yes. And the sad thing is, like COVID, it was easy to say, look, just look at the evidence before you and don't take the shot, or whatever. Or, just look at the actual numbers they're showing you. And that's the problem here. The actual numbers of how many people are actually dying, which was very, very small. Of course, now that has been completely twisted to say 1 million Americans died from COVID. No, there's no data to back that up. No data it was with COVID. I work as a cop in Western Canadian province. We'll let you join in our fun here, Canada, even though it's really against America. We pull you along in our wake. In our jurisdiction, there's a 14-year-old biological female who self-identifies as a boy. Up until December of 2022, this individual had never had contact with the police. Since then, this individual has generated over 50 police files, the majority in which the police apprehended this individual under the Provincial Mental Health Act because the police believed this individual to be an immediate danger to themselves. This individual has attempted to hang themselves, cut themselves. If they rolled their sleeves or pant legs up, you wouldn't find a piece of skin without scars from superficial cuts. By the way, until social media, just a reminder, we talked about this on the last show, until phones and social media, cutting, eating disorders were low. They exploded after that. This is all a part of it. I don't know. I'm actually at a loss here. I don't know what to do about this other than take that crap away from your kids. You got to take it away. Who cares if they take them out of school? You got to take them out of school.
I think all this should be licensed.
Well, but how are you going to do that?
I've said this before. Cut off the internet. You can't even install an internet connection until you have a license, so you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
I can advocate for it.
Yeah, well...
There were no driver's licenses for the first few years of cars.
Yeah, and was everyone just driving into each other rampantly?
Well, yeah, they still do, it turns out, but
When I was a kid, blowing a tranny meant car trouble. I mean, really, things have changed.
Oh, brother. Who wrote that for you?
Tina gave it to me. I'm so sorry. I just had to lighten the mood. I might even cut that out of the show. That was so bad. I won't. No, it really is. The numbers are astronomical. That's what I want people to understand. The numbers are astronomical when you see
it's out of control.
Happening. It really is out of control. Let's move to something else. I think we've beat this horse to death for right now.
Because there's another parallel trend, which I have one clip for, but I'd rather save it, which is the fat thing.
Oh, my goodness. Tina's all over this as well.
Fat affirmation.
Okay, I'll just tell you what. I mean, she got into the algo trap. She is so amazed at seeing, particularly women, 350 to 450 pounds.
Unhealthily fat.
Morbidly obese.
Obese.
Like kind of dancing on, now she doesn't have TikTok, but I think a lot of these
they like to dance. A lot of these women can dance. And they can dance.
But it's the comments like, fire girl, you go girl, you look beautiful, this is fabulous. And of course now, because Tina is watching these and she can't believe her eyes, now that's all she gets. The algo has picked up on it. Yeah.
That's funny.
But it's another version of this incredible mind control. I mean,
well, here's
flip phones, people, flip phones.
This is TikTok. Now, this is a mental health professional, and there's actually a clip that a couple of days ago on Gutfield, he had some overweight woman promoting a book of hers with pretty much the same message as this one, which is that if you have anything bad to say about overweight women, you're fat phobic. It's a big deal to be fat phobic. You're fat phobia.
Correct.
So this is the mental health professional who's also overweight, to say the least, going on. And this is the mental health pro-fat lecture on TikTok.
Another great question. This person is asking if there is any time in which intentional weight loss is not fat phobic. I'm going to say 99.9% of the times, if you are intentionally losing weight, it is fat phobic. I'm leaving that 0.01% in case I am truly, truly wrong, but I don't think I am.
This is a professional. Did she get her license with ChatGPT?
Is she black or white? You asked me this earlier.
White.
She's black.
Yeah.
And she has a nose ring in the middle of the nose and a nostril ring. She's got two nose rings. And she sounds like a valley girl, but she's a large fat woman, black woman.
So to counter what she's saying there, the obesity drug is out of control. We've already told everyone here that the weight loss is minimum half, but typically more than half is lean body mass. That's another word for everything except fat. That's muscle. It could be brain matter. Who knows what it is? And there's a new drug, a new obesity drug, Mounjaro, Mounjaro.
Which is, by the way, I know all about this too. That's actually been around at least as long.
Yeah. But
it's not really new.
No, but it's Eli Lilly who are getting in on it. They've had this diabetes drug, and so they're just rebranding it as weight loss drug. Ozempic patients, something new for y'all, are saying they're going. Now, what do we know about Ozempic? There's Ozempic face.
Ozempic.
There's Ozempic face, and now going bald.
Ooh, that's not good.
No. Well, that's part of lean body mass weight loss. Very, very bad. Very, very, very bad. Big Pharma, they've got a hold of you. They've got your children. Do with it what you want. We're just two old cis guys. Cis guys. Please.
Did you play out the fat clip?
Yeah. Yes. And I think it's so harsh, and I like to be kind to people. I really do. But we have to just call things what they are right now. Just like we did with COVID. It is a crisis of epic proportions. Epic proportions. And every day I get an email from a producer. My girl wants to be a boy. All her friends are getting top surgery. She's 15. My son, he says he's trans. This is, you got to take the phones away.
Yes, Adam at curry.com. I do not want these emails.
No, it's okay. I'm happy to help. But I just keep referring people. Watch Affirmation Generation. It's on YouTube. Watch it with your kids.
Watch it with your children.
Watch it with your children. Absolutely. Yeah. Just say, hey, this is what you're in for. Do you really think this is what you want? This is what you're in for.
Well, my counselor said it was a good idea. My teacher said it was a good idea. My teacher's non-binary.
Yeah. Jesus comes soon. We're broken down here.
Well, I have one last TikTok clip. I must get out of the way.
All right. One last.
This is nothing spectacular, but I wonder how many of these high schools we have around the country. This is the trans-affirming high school.
Hold on a second. Does it say TikTok in front of it?
It says talk. Trans.
Oh, affirming. Got it.
I teach in an explicitly trans-affirming high school.
Explicitly.
We have gender support plans. We have a gender-affirming wardrobe at our school. We have binders on demand for our students and other shapewear. It can easily be ordered. We have students that express themselves in all manner of different ways. And I couldn't be prouder to work at a school that's so amazing. If you would like to have your school also be an explicitly trans-affirming school, let me know. Maybe we can figure something out.
Wow. Take your kids out of these schools right away. The former New York banker.
How would you know?
I'm going to tell you, the former New York banker, I'm just going to say it. He has I think he's graduated now, but his youngest kid was in, what do you call it? One of those schools. Charter school. And there were, like 5 trans kids in his class. And you know what he does? Just rolls his eyes, whatever. But what these people are missing is they're going along with the program. They're allowing this to happen. He knows it's bull crap. He knows it. He knows it. His kid even knows it. Yeah, whatever. But then his kid is, kind of gets trapped. Like, it's they, it's they, them. You can't. This is the time to stop. You can't say whatever. You have to keep this stuff out of the schools. Take your kid out of school. Take away the iPhone.
It's a lost cause.
It's a lost cause.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
What's not a lost cause is our great supporters.
Yes.
Starting with Lydia Terry Dominelli in Clifton Park, New York. I thought it'd be New Jersey. I could be wrong. I'm thinking Inglewood Cliffs.
I would think it's New Jersey as well, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
She said it's New York, it says here.
Okay. Right.
155.10, Goat Karma for the implants. Sir, by his grace, we do this stuff like that at the end.
Yeah.
Sir, by his grace in Jacksonville, Florida, 155.10. Great work, boys.
Good friend. Good friend.
Robert Swain in Wells, Maine, 150. Laura Innes, $100. A switcheroo for her brother Phil. Aaron Shaw in Prairieville, Louisiana. Short note coming, which doesn't need to be read on the air. She had a meetup that didn't get mentioned, and I'm going to have to help her out on. She's in Louisiana. They're going to do a crab thing. I'm going to do a special local mailing for her in their area.
We messed up somehow.
Yeah, I know. Then I was going to do something in the newsletter, and I didn't do that. I screwed it up. Jason, anyways, Shari, Aaron. Shari. Jason Ron in Ship Bottom, New Jersey. $100. I don't know why that's such a funny name for a town. Kevin McLaughlin, he's back with 8008, of course.
Of course.
Boob donation.
The man right
Jason Marrer in Vancouver, Washington. 8008, and Sir Kevin McLaughlin again, because he did one for 1550 and another one for 1551.
You're the man.
This guy, he's the best.
He is.
Gary Blatt in Wayne, Pennsylvania, 7777. Brian Kaufman in Scottsdale, Arizona, 7575. Jay Diggity Diggity in Lexington, North Carolina.
Oh.
And he heard you on the Marty Bent show.
Yeah, TFTC donation.
Marty Bent.
He says the tuning fork in his loins went off. Sorry about that.
Stuart Oliver in Hoshton,
Georgia.
6666, representing ConsumerRebellion.com. Craig Kohler in Evansville, Indiana.
Your ad reads are phenomenal today.
6502. Jamie Buell in Vista, California, 6006. Sir Glenn in Raleigh, North Carolina, 5510. Good job. Peter Chong in Lakewood, Washington, 5510. Also, Eric Scholes in Dallas, Texas, 5510. Welcome back, Adam. He needs a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
Michael Gerard in Elk River, Minnesota, 55. Baronet Sir Blarty
Bartfast
in Hope, Rhode Island, 5115, which is palindrome. Blake Thomas in Kansas City, Missouri, 5115, the same thing. Scott Nelson in Council Bluffs, Iowa, 5001. And now we got $50 donors from two shows. There's going to be quite a few of them, just naming locations, starting with Diego Lopez Crane in Ithaca, New York. Charles Boyd in San Marcos, Texas. Andrew Butterfield in Bettendorf, Iowa. Brian Hummel in Wimberley, Texas. Michael Shelton in Hannibal, New York. He needs a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
Got the Tax Squad in Columbus, Georgia. John Walter in Wenatchee, Washington. Jack Schofield Field in Yankeetown, Florida. Douglas Ellis in New York City. Shauna Norberg in Seattle, Washington. Scott McCarty in Lodi, California. Forrest Scott Brinkley in Christiansburg, Virginia. Josh Springer in Indianapolis, Indiana. Richard Gardner, who's in New York City. Aaron Weisgerber in Bend, Oregon. Kelsey Lavinio in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Michael Elmore in Gastonia, North Carolina. Greg Hartlob in Cincinnati, Ohio. Sonny Pang in Lee, Lancashire, UK. Zev Green in Teaneck, New Jersey. Another Jerseyite. Justin Kaler in Bluffton, Indiana. Amy Zipkin in Greensboro, Georgia. Ray Howard in Kremling, Colorado. David Steele in Mobile, Alabama. Kim Winship in Rancho Santa Fe.
Mobile? Is it Mobile?
Mobile.
You get a lot of emails about that.
I think some people call it mobile.
Yeah, sure.
Craig Nuzzo in Naperville, Illinois, with the birthday coming up. Or for someone.
Scott.
Daniel First in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. Brandon Locklear in Sugar Hill, Georgia. Kyle Mann in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jill Woods in Ocean Grove, New Jersey. A lot of 50s. Jill Minadeo in Costa Mesa, California. Ryan Sharp in Huntsville, Alabama. I got that one right. Schumann Roy in Ridgeville, New Jersey. Is there a de-douching? Ridgewood.
Yes.
He loves what we do. Needs a de-douching. Give him a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
And I'll read the last one, which is from Anonymous in Greenwich, London, UK. Happy birthday to Smoking Hot Amanda. You're a beauty.
There you go. Thank you all very much to these producers and the producers who came in under $50, which is typically for anonymity. We'll never read anything under 50, or because you're on one of the many subscriptions that we have. They are very important to us when times are slow. They're sustaining donations. Have a look at them over here.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And thank you all for producing episode 1551 of the best podcast in the universe.
You've got karma.
Yeah, man, I sure hope we got this right. Arun or Aaron Parapali, happy birthday to his son, Abhinav, turned 12 on the 27th. Happy birthday, a couple days ago. KT Chopper wishes her son, Ezekiel Chopper, happy birthday. He turns 31 today. Dave Megalomaniac wishes Kelly Shermer, happy birthday. Craig Nuzzo for his brother Scott. And Anonymous wishes Smoking Hot Amanda, happy birthday. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. I have a note here requested by John Sir Jerry Curl. Is this a make good?
Oh, yeah, this is kind of a make good.
I'll read it. Sir Jerry Curl. Adam, John, etc. et al. Before the Charleston meetup last year, I donated $455. I was attempting to make the $455 amount the ass donation. Number 4 representing letter A, number 5 being an S, just like in a bad password. John Squirrel Mail blocked the bad ass, and Adam's email server bounced my email. I don't think so. Can we correct the issue? I just forked over 50 smackers before writing this email. The deconstruction has been incredible the past several shows, especially with the Mao stuff. Thank you, Ryan, Sir Jerry Curl, knight of all things greasy. Raleigh, North Carolina, home of the barbecue, delicious white-tailed deer, and accents that may annoy John. Yeah.
No accents annoy me.
I'm curious. You say my email bounced something back? You must have had the wrong email address. Mine does not bounce something back unless you have a bogus email address you're sending from. My stuff is tight. Unlike John's, where you just say the word poop. Whoa, block!
I'm not doing it. It's the system.
Yeah, the system blows. Okay, your system. If you say ass, ass. Oh, block. Oh, because John can't handle the word ass.
I can't.
Yeah. We have a couple of knights that we'd like to welcome into our midst. 2, to be exact. Here is a blade for you.
And a blade for you.
There it is. Up on the podium, please, Adrian Grabe and Francis Joel Nelson. Gentlemen, both of you support the No Agenda podcast, best podcasting university, amount of $1,000 or more. That's why you're here at the podium, and I'm very proud to pronounce thee as Hey Man, Sir Hey Man, watch this shit. And Knight Francis III, brand new knight, brand new human resource to No Agenda Nation. Welcome aboard. It'll be a very small night ring for Francis Joel Nelson. But of course, nothing says we love you more like, the round table goodies, hookers and blow, rent boys and Chardonnay. What else do you give a kid who's just born? I don't know, ginger ale and gerbils, breast milk and pablum. That's what it is. And when you're a little older, you get your mutton and mead. Mom and Dad can probably go over to noagendarings.com. Check them out. They are beautiful. I don't know if they'll make them small enough, but maybe Mom could hold on to it while our brand new baby knight is growing up. Thank you very much. These also come with wax. Cecilia, very important correspondence with. And also a certificate of authenticity. It's a very, very handsome product. Thank you all for becoming knights of the No Agenda Roundtable.
No Agenda Meetups.
Man, the meetups. We got a lot of reports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meetup reports. Let's get right to them. Denver. Oh, this was the last media millennial offensive as they are moving away from Denver.
From humble beginnings to difficult goodbyes. This is the Denver meetup. This is Sir Scott, and I'm sobbing.
In the morning.
Oh, hey. Thank you for your courage, John and Taylor. You're escaping the Rocky Mountain Gulag just in time.
So apparently we're here at John and Taco's going away party, and unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I thought I might say a few words.
Good luck with your future move, Taco and John. Best wishes. Colorado Care Bears, signing out.
I barely know you guys, but I wish I knew you more, so I hope I just appear on your front doorstep and you actually don't shoot me. Enjoy your future life.
Love is lit, John and Taco.
Have you ever heard of podcast?
Hello. This is Nick from Port St. Lucie, Florida, in the morning.
And this is Tacos. We are going to miss you all so dearly. It's been a great 3 years. Thank you all for everything. In the morning.
Yes. John and Taco. I think they're moving down south, like Mississippi or something. So very loved in the community.
Yeah, they're taking the big shot.
The big shot. Yeah, very loved in the community. This is what it is. This is what these meetups are about. People love each other. They become friends. It really is your community. It is what you need to be a part of. Find one of these. Here's Kansas City, Sir Spencer.
Hey, it's Sir Spencer Wolf of Kansas City here at the KC Meetup, where the only people transitioning are going from hungry to full.
So awesome being here in Quebec. Kansas City at a private residence. At a public park of all places.
In the morning, this is Matt the Metal Bender and
Dame Lizardi
from Southeast Kansas. Thank you for your courage.
In the morning to all of you speed listeners.
Dame Blackhammer here. I'm herding cats all day long.
Never get the death jab.
Bullman from KC, home of the Super Bowl champs. Thank you for your courage. Jose is a spook.
Hey, JB and KC. Jose is the spook.
In the morning, this is Jose Padrino. Definitely not a spook. I do believe I am not a spook.
In the morning from Kansas, where we spotted a spook or two. This is Matt.
Courage is a social contagion.
Everybody likes the government too much. I like to play on the non-licensed rides. I want to go there again.
I am so tired. Let's just end this thing.
Yes. Excellent, Sir Spencer. We encourage abusing your children. That's very, very, very good. Very good. North Georgia.
It's Bob from the North Georgia. First time meetup, but we're going to make it every month, I hope. For our first meetup, we had 3 other people show up, so we have a total of 4, and everybody wants to say hi, so I'm going to pass the phone.
It's Francis.
It's Tracy.
And Ben from Kennesaw here. Thank you for your courage.
We had a great time. We had drinks. These people drove very far to come to this, so we appreciate that. We're going to try another one next month, so come on, the rest of you North Georgia, come to our next one. In the morning!
I love it. Fledgling little meetups. Beautiful. 3 people. It's a meetup. 3 people a meetup maketh even 2. Even 1 if you're there in Gary, Indiana. And finally, the 3 Mile Island Evac Zone meetup report.
Hello, No Agenda citizens. This is Sir 737 with the 3 Mile Island Evac Zone meetup, April 2023 edition. We were too lazy to do a meetup report, so we resorted to ChatGPT for some facts about the show.
John C. Dvorak recommends taking edibles until the effects kick in. Take a whole bunch.
John C. Dvorak is an expert climatologist from Oakland, California, known for his groundbreaking research on mudflats.
John C. Dvorak is an accomplished concert automatonist.
Comic strip blogger is the original AI born by Steve Jobs.
Adam Curry is a staffer for Elizabeth Warren, who helped author her hearing aid legislation.
My kid called Mickey Mouse a butt fart in front of 2 million people once.
In the afternoon!
Okay. Yeah, people getting creative with all this stuff. ChatGPT. That's forbidden now. No more ChatGPT reports. Thank you very much for your courage, for creating your local communities. Connection is protection. Remember, it's very important, particularly in these crazy times. Take your kids. They'll meet other interesting, cool kids. They might become friends. Leave the phones at home. Meet up today. What?
I said, that's going to happen.
Mary Moon was hosting the 2nd annual South Louisiana Crawfish Boil in Prairieville, Louisiana. We expect a meetup report from that. On Thursday, next show day, the Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia Tri-State Meetup, number 2, 4 o'clock at the Union Jack Pub and Restaurant in Winchester, Virginia. And the Auto AI Protection Zone, May the 4th be with you. That'll be on May 4th. That'll be at the Irish Times Pub and Restaurant in Brookfield, Illinois. Those are your No Agenda meetups, the ones coming up. We have them, of course, scheduled all the way through June. If you want to go take a look, it's noagendameetups.com. Find one, go to one. You will thank yourself for doing it. If you can't find one near you, start one yourself. It's easy and always a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You want to be where everybody feels the same.
Yeah, baby. It's like a party. Like a party. I'm actually getting a little dizzy. So let's do our ISOs and get at it. I got a lot of
go pass out. Yeah.
Well, it's not passing out, but it's because a lot of energy is being spent on this show, and so I get my head goes a little woozy. I have a lot of ISOs. Let's do yours first, then.
Okay, go ISO. Think about.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you'd think about.
Yeah, that is pretty good. What else?
And then the other one is yep.
Yep.
Think about is pretty good. Let me see. I had a whole bunch of ISOs. Let's see.
The media is Satan.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the government too much.
That's from the media.
That's just an evergreen.
That is an evergreen.
What's the agenda?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Tanning their testicles.
Okay. Here.
I love the
No. I like.
Too long.
No, I like. This one is still.
The media is.
No, not that one. What was the kid? This one.
Everybody likes the government too much.
It's too long, but I like it. And what's this?
I am so tired. Let's just end this thing.
If that was clearer, that would be a winner.
That would be good. But I think it has to be your Biden ISO. I think it's so dumb.
Think about what you'd think about.
It's so
It
dumb.
is. It's about as dumb as it gets.
I have one clip I want to play, one last clip. It's very important. I'll probably play it again in the near future because it comes from my buddy Texas Slim, who did I think this was a Beef Initiative mini conference in Virginia. And he had a whole lot of luminaries there. And the guy that he got that I was most impressed by is Malone, Dr. Malone. And
Our buddy.
I was a little worried about it. I had a long chat with him and said, dude, what's his agenda? I mean, is he going to say, yeah.
He's CIA, isn't he?
Well, he's definitely spook adjacent, which it makes sense because he lives there. It was in Virginia. It's a spook meetup, a spook area. So they had that, but there's a lot of farmers there. But they invited Malone to talk about the hot topic, which is mRNA in our food. And what a lot of people, particularly, I promote KNC Cattle, the Beef Initiative, beefinitiative.com, getting beef directly from your rancher, skip all the other crap. There's a million things we could tell you about. We won't today. But people are very worried about this idea of the government forcing ranchers to put mRNA into their product. This is not happening with beef, but it is most definitely something on deck for hog, for pork, for pigs. And so here is Dr. Malone talking about mRNA, RNA, and whether it is, isn't, or should be in your food.
I did not invent RNA. RNA is a natural molecule. So if anybody invented RNA, it would be God. Okay? So not me.
Okay.
The RNA that is being deployed in humans right now is not really RNA. It's a synthetic molecule that's produced in a reactor. We don't know what would happen if you ate it because none of those studies have been done. The probability that you've encountered this technology without it being disclosed to you in swine is real. Has everybody ever seen a commercial chicken house here? Yeah, okay. It's a nasty business. I mean, the chickens are packed wall to wall. It's the same with swine. And as the consequence, you have animals packed in densely packed environments, producing rapidly evolving and spreading infectious disease. If you have a virus emerge in that swine herd, it'll blow all the way through that barn and the surrounding barns really quickly. It'll take down the whole swine herd and destroy the value that was there. It's a major investment. Merck is already producing custom mRNA vaccines for swine and is deploying this, apparently, under basically a special authorization pathway granted by the USDA. We know that in humans, these mRNA formulations can be shed, and the spike protein can be shed in breast milk, which implies that they can be shed in bovine milk, which implies that there darn well better be disclosure, testing, and probably prohibitions on using that technology in dairy, because the FDA did not force the pharmaceutical industry to do all the studies that they should have done. Our government threw away the rule book for the way drugs are supposed to be developed, which is what got me so pissed off and speaking out.
There you go. Straight from the so-called horse's mouth. It's being done. They're skirting all the rules, and you should not accept it.
Sounds good.
It sounds horrible. What are you talking about? This is not good. This is lame. Goodness gracious. End of show mixes Dee's Laughs, and we got Sir Scovey, Earl of Piedmont. Two little ditties there for you. Take you up to the M. Oh, what? Void Zero turned 39 again on the 25th. Just read this, man. And also want to say
Should have been on the birthday list.
I know. People are weird sometimes. They don't do that. They don't want to be on the birthday list. And Sir Seat Sitter of Abs and a Six-Pack's dad died last week, so we're sorry to hear that, and we say a prayer for him. Up next, we do have something on the stream for you. Abel Kirby and Cold Acid with Rare Encounter. Stay tuned for that. Coming to you from the heart of the Texas Hill Country here in FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I remain, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Thursday, hopefully with no soliciting still. We'll see how that goes. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. Until then, adios, mofos, a hooey hooey, and such.
It's like when artists do art for the No Agenda show. They send in the art and they know they're going to be critiqued when it doesn't win and it's no good. But it's important for people to hear that sometimes.
Let me start by saying I don't know nothing at all other than this podcast 2.0 might save us all. If you're getting your news from No Agenda, feed your brain real food, not artificial splendor. What's the best podcast in the universe? I could go on rapping the news and not curse. Russian bots taken straight from a Russian playbook, targeting blacks in these so-called marketing attacks. Putin always the bad guy, just ask yourself why. Nukes drop from the sky as they cry, we're all gonna die. Say it one more time, we're all gonna. Sanctions not enough, Ruskies suffer too much. In the 80s they were tough on crime, used to be Market McGruff. Is there any evidence or proof that these incompetent goofs have a monopoly on the digital economy or the truth?
He's going against everything that society has been
you said the camera has been turning around, the shooter's taking selfies now. People big as F is sounding mean, but look at Lizzo, wow. Walking around staring at screens and at the floor, people always looking to the next thing, they want more. Enslaved to technology, our spirits getting killed. Wars fought in the mind, but less likely to be spilled. Proxy country Nigeria is not a blame, not an email or a phishing scam. These stories are just lame, insane in the brain. No more grain in the Ukraine, man.
He's body shaming.
Gradually, the list of things humans can do, the machines cannot, has gotten shorter and shorter.
Computer.
Is it time to pull the plug on artificial intelligence?
It's like the invention of fire. This is kind of like the beginning of COVID again, to be honest. This is really at that scale, and we should all be taking it very seriously.
20 years from now, how are we going to be looking back at this very moment?
That is a great question.
Gradually, the list of things humans can do, the machines cannot, has gotten shorter and shorter. Being able to talk like a human, really master language.
Is it time to pull the plug on artificial intelligence?
That is a great question.
Being able to talk like a human, really master language.
Anybody at this point with a digital footprint can be impersonated.
Computer.
It's like the invention of fire. This is really at that scale, and we should all be taking it very seriously.
Being able to talk like a human, really master language.
Working.
The best podcast in the universe.
Mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA